All right, ladies and germs, this is an impromptu episode of the Late Night Boxing Talks. Shout out to Cat. Keep taking shots at my flannel shirts. Like I love my flannel shirts. I'm not a high maintenance person, yo. I'm very low key. I'm actually a behind the scenes type person to keep it real with you. I'm more of a behind the camera guy than and in front of the camera guy. But I was preparing another episode of the relay, and the mood kind of just struck me for the talks. Yo, I heard Kevin Samuels died. I heard Kevin Samuels. What's goody outlaw? What's goody deed? I heard Kevin Samuels passed away, man, and it's actually people online celebrating that. Not necessarily related to boxing, although he did make a couple of individuals, couple of females, very angry, angry enough to fight, angry enough to celebrate his passing. What's goody Avo? What's Gurry Tyrion folk? JD in the building. Rob in the building. Onier in the building. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's wild out here. Currently in Asia, but the zone works well, unlike ESPN Plus. Oh, really? You know what I mean? And there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot going on. I think what we're gonna discuss tonight is, I made a couple of relay episodes about how Tom Brown revealed that a part of the deal that was offered to Canelo Alvarez was an Errol Spence Jr. fight at a catchweight. And you guys already know by now how I feel about it. I want to get other people's reactions. And, do they feel it's encouraging towards a Crawford fight that not that long ago, the PBC was willing to put Errol Spence in there with Canelo Alvarez? Because you have to think about it. When they offered Canelo what they offered him, Spence had not fought Ugas yet. He just fought Ugas not but a few weeks ago, or 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago. It wasn't that long ago. So if you go by the time frame of what was offered, it looked like basically what y'all was saying, that he gonna fight Ugas, and then after he fight Ugas, if Canelo takes the deal, what, he's gonna go up to 64? Where would that have left the Crawford fight? You know what I mean? So that's kind of like what I got on my mind right now. What's goody country? What's goody Lucia? Que lo que? Matter of fact, let me shoot Lucia a link. Nobody hit the link except Lucia, yo, because we ain't get the chance to talk about that. We didn't get the chance to talk about Taylor versus Serrano. I got to chop it up with Susie and Sasha, Women's Fight News. That was a very fun conversation. The conversation was just flowing. I hope to have them back sometime, or if they ever want me to go to their channel, I'll be happy to go over there. It's a very fun conversation. Talked about some things that just you notice on social media. You notice that some people, for whatever reason, they want the sport to fail. They want the girls to fail. I don't really understand why they want that. I just, and that goes back to something that I say here on the channel, that I'm like, yo, some things is not for me to know. And why somebody's mind would work that way, it's not for me to know. I just know that my mind doesn't work that way. You know what I mean? Try to be nice to everybody, try to be a good person, all that stuff. Some people are very negative. They're inherently negative, or at least when it's convenient, because in reality, they don't actually, you know what I mean? Hold on, Leo. I'm waiting for Lucia to join the chat so we could talk about whatchamacallit. But yeah, yo, I heard Kevin Samuels died, man. I heard he died. I don't know if he died. I hope he didn't, but that's kind of messed up, man. Don Ramon, que lo que, maning? Bobby Light in the building. It's crazy in the building. You know what I mean? Midwest in the building. Kevin Samuels was a content creator here on YouTube who became popular very recently, though he's been around some time. He was a content creator here on YouTube, and he used to give out advice, like relationship advice, but it was very harsh, and it was very he didn't pull any punches. The things that he said could basically be interpreted as offensive. He'd get panelists on his thing, and he would ask them about their living situation, their child situation, if there is a child situation, their marital and/or relationship situations, and he would come to a conclusion that some people, they didn't like. Like, to put it bluntly, he used to tell people about themselves, and they didn't like that about him. But he was being brutally honest, and if I'm being honest, I think some of it, he was putting on for the camera. but I did hear certain things that he said that were true as it pertains to how a man views certain things out there on the field. They're like, yo, look, if you got a joint or you talking to a joint and she got three, four, five, it's just a lot of things that he said. You'll have to see one of his videos yourself to see what I'm talking about. And some of the things that he said, they actually rung true, at least from a male perspective, as far as how a male sees certain things. You know what I mean? Daniel Egan in the building. Shout out to you, Daniel. Shout out to the whole of Australia. Speak life into the universe. Can't spend years telling people they gonna die alone and then no, I mean, like, look, man, I would love to have you on here to talk about this, but you don't be wanting to hit the link, dog. Just be real. Hit the link. Stop being scary. Hit the link, man. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Kevin Samuels. Let's talk about what he said. Was it right? Was it wrong? All the stuff. Drew says Kevin Samuels pushed marriage and decorum in a blunt way. He told women, y'all don't want to realize men who have options want what they want and not what you think they should get. This is what I mean, Drew. They're like, yeah, like what I heard coming out of him was not necessarily something that I interpreted as bad so much as like a get real. That's what I always took from what he was saying, because there were things he was saying that's true, that it's like there was some things, at least like I said, from a male perspective, there were things that he said that I'm like, yeah, like that's literally what we be thinking. That's literally how our mind works. That's not cap. That's not for the camera. That's, maybe it makes the panelists feel bad, but that's literally what, would be going through the male mind depending on the situation. So, I mean, I like, to put it another way, even when he was talking to the guy, he would have guys on there sometimes, and he would talk to them crazy too. I've seen at least 1 or 2 episodes where he talked to a guy crazy, but what he told the guy was true. Like, fam, you don't work out, you ain't got no money, you got a minimum wage job, and you think that women supposed to be falling, tripping over themselves over you? Like, what are you, crazy? You like you not even like what he told the dude, that was some real shit. Like, Brody, you need to get fucking real, fam. For the shit that you want, you need to be doing better. For the shit that you want. And if you don't want to do better, then you don't need to want that shit. You know what you want is just, it's not real. Kevin Samuels has vids roasting men. Yeah, I seen them shits, man. I seen them shits. But man, it is what it is, man. At the end of the day, I think it's kind of evil to celebrate the death of someone who didn't actually do anything to you. And me being me, I know the universe. That's evil. If you see people celebrating the death of a guy that did not do nothing to them, like he didn't do nothing to you, he did not come up to you and slap you or punch you, he didn't slash your tires, he didn't key your car, he didn't say nothing about you, but because he says something that you don't like, you're reveling in his passing. That is fucking, according to Hoyle, evil. And it's a lot of evil people running around. They just don't think they're evil because nobody's the bad guy in their own story. The truth is, a lot of people fucked up because when you tell the truth, people not gonna like you, yo. That's the world that we live in. If you say something that's true, there's motherfuckers out there that'll get mad at it. Case in point, if I say Errol Spence's numbers is down from the time he debuted on pay-per-view till now, when I say that, I always get like it's always something. If a motherfucker don't say something in the comments, they gonna message me. They gonna say something. If I say, look, from the time Errol debuted on pay-per-view till now, he hasn't been able to duplicate that success. And I am speaking facts, okay? You have not. Yo, I'm just keeping it real though. Am I lying? Has he sold 365,000 pay-per-views since then? Have there been 550,000 or whatever? No, it hasn't. But if I say that, people gonna get mad at me. If I say, look, Canelo Alvarez is the face of boxing in America, and motherfuckers just gotta suck it up, B. It's Canelo's world. Everybody else, all these other boxers is just in it. It's Canelo's world, feel me? When it comes to that marquee value, A side, all that, but it's his motherfuckers to get mad at me for saying that. But am I wrong though? I'm wrong. You know what I mean? When you tell the truth, you become the. I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret, right? This is some real universal secret shit, right? When you become a truth teller, you become a beacon of light, and the evil can see you, and the evil will come after you. So if you know in your heart that you be telling the truth, you don't be bullshitting, you be telling the truth, right? We got Lucia in the building. Lucia, háblame de la pelea. Yo sé que estaba muy emocionada. Yo sé que te gustó la pelea. How did you like the fight? Just give me your thoughts on the fight.
Oh my God, Taylor Serrano was amazing. I wanted to cry on that fact because they not only the level of the fight because they catch the attention of everybody. They my feelings. Ellas me emocionaron. Ellas se emocionaron. Ellas supieron cómo llegar al espectador, and that is amazing.
I'll say that I was very happy for them. Like I said, like, look, it's not the outcome. It's that tú no viste, viendo toda esa gente que vinieron para la pelea, que they cared, they showed up, los puertorriqueños, the people from Ireland, and that they knew the fighters and that they was cheering, that they was going crazy. Que mira, en este momento, aquí están enseñando que yes, there's a market, yo. If you do it right, there's a market and they just do it right. You know what I mean? It was like yo, the whole thing was dope. Now I will say, like I said Katie Taylor on points. Everybody's mad. Don't mean that. You're the only one who's not mad at me. Right now, it's people throwing shade at me. They trying to attack me. I was like, look, I've been saying this for 3, 4 years now. Katie Taylor on points. I said, I don't know if Amanda has enough power to knock her out. It's like, could she hurt her? Yeah, I said that last. Like, does she have enough power to hurt Katie? I think she does, but I don't know if she has enough power to knock her out because Katie has fought punchers before. She fought Jessica
Yeah.
McCaskill, Delphine Passon, Cristina Linardatu, Natasha
Oh,
Jonas.
enough.
Obenov también, mira lo que Obenov le hizo a Jonas.
Second fight. Second fight. Oh, enough.
So con eso yo lo que vi es que mira, even if Amanda tiene pegada grande, Katie
Yeah.
tiene experiencia. Y ella, she's not, in other words, if Katie would not have fought those people, then she wouldn't have had the experience to make it out of the fifth round. Pero ella tenía la experiencia, like, nah, I've been in the trenches before. So dime tú, how did you score the fight? And what were your thoughts after the fight?
Or a draw or 6-4 for Katie.
Mm, mm, mm.
It was pelea cerrada, super cerrada, ¿no? But first of all, ellas, ellas tienen todo para... Nacieron, son especiales.
Mm.
Ellas son especiales, las dos, porque Amanda Serrano también lo es. Toda esa gente que Amanda Serrano llevó a ese espectáculo, amazing. All of the support that they have, it's amazing. You know, they transmit everything. And the level of the fight, okay, I think Amanda hasn't the size to fight in 135. You know,
Mm,
she looks small,
mm.
uh, closer to Katie, you know. But if Amanda has the size, like I don't know, Katie or a normal, a natural 135, she could knock Katie out. But with that size, I don't think so.
¿Y cómo tú imaginas? Porque Michaela Mayer, ¿verdad? Ella está diciendo que antes de la pelea, Michaela Mayer dijo que si la pelea con Alicia no fue 7 años, ella quiere subir de peso para el 135 y ella quiere, it's like, how do you see Mayer versus Serrano?
No, Serrano's going to kill her.
La mata.
Huh, huh. Katie, Serrano, Persoon,
Ella no mata a Presume.
they are
Ella no
here.
mata, no, ella no. Presume, mira, Maiva, Presume, aunque no tienen la técnica
Huh.
linda, la técnica no la tienen linda, pero físicamente esas mujeres son más fuertes que el diablo, tienen
Huh.
pegada, tienen quijada. So, si tú quieres boxear con esa mujer, they're not gonna let you box. They are not
Sí.
going to let you box. ¿Cómo tú ves Serrano McCaskill?
Okay. McCaskill has a big size. Maybe a 50-55, but Amanda is too active in the ring. Is too active, but she's a small girl.
Yes, she is. She's not a big
De,
woman.
de, sí, el nivel más alto, la categoría más alta a la que ella debe llegar es 135, porque si no
Bueno,
después...
para mí 130 de verdad.
Sí,
De verdad que optimal weight, un peso que es óptimo para ella, porque la mujer no es grande, ella es flaquita, ella no tiene
sí,
mucha carne en esos huesos. El 130, ahí ella va a estar fuertecita, va a tener
sí,
pegada, ya se ve que ella tiene quijada, porque ella estaba aguantando puño en round 10, and she got wobble, but she took the shit,
sí.
yo. So 130 is the best weight for her.
Sí, pero... Oh.
And friends, the like button. Also, Dave Chappelle and friends. Yeah, I have no idea, but I appreciate the super chat. Yeah, I don't.
Don't care, don't care. Volviendo a Mayer Serrano, Mayer, Mayer no tuvo la oposición como para pedir a Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano es el top. Y
Mhm.
Michaela, o sea, no tengo nada contra ella. Debe ser una excelente persona, es una muy buena boxeadora. Pero, eh, vamos, con las únicas dos personas que peleó fue con Anabela Farías y con Hamadouche.
Bueno,
Anybody
también
else?
la Brodnicka, también la polaca, Brodnicka.
Eh,
Ok, vamos a decir esto, porque este es el lío. Ahora lo que está diciendo Michaela, que she's the A-side. Y yo no lo veo así. Yo no lo veo que ella es el A-side a Alicia. I just, ¿cómo? Like, how are you the A-side? In what way? Porque tiene dos cinturones. I understand, pero unless your promoter is paying for the fight, you're not the
yes,
A-side of anything. Tú no
Alicia
eres
has
Canelo, ¿me
the
entiendes?
strong. Alicia has the strong promoter.
Exactly.
Uh, but I'm still thinking that Alicia hasn't the marketing that she deserves. You know, today, Michaela says something that is true. You know, how Alicia has been fighting since she is a little girl, and the only big fight she won is against Jerry Harper.
Okay, I'm not Alicia's publicist, pero esto es lo que yo voy a decir. Okay,
Okay,
yo tengo la respuesta para eso. Michaela, tú estabas con Top Rank por 5 años. You've been with
claro.
Top Rank since 2017. What's the biggest thing you did again? When I knocked out Terry Harper, if I'm Alicia, yo, when I knocked out Terry Harper, that shit was a bigger buzz than any of your fights, than your biggest fights. When I knocked her out, that shit was everywhere. You've been with Top Rank for 5 years, and you still ain't pop. If you know, pero I'm not her publicist. I have to be unbiased, so yo no voy a decir nada. No le voy a tirarle leña al fuego, pero yeah, I mean that no, because I didn't want to comment nothing because maybe one day I'll try to interview Michaela, even though I I don't want to. Like I'll let you do it. Like,
I think Michaela is trying to catch the attention of everybody, and she's mad about everything that is not about her. You know,
yeah.
um, before Alicia beats Terry Harper, Michaela estaba encima de Terry Harper todo el tiempo, todo el tiempo. She's trying to catch the attention. Eh, I don't know, I don't, th- no puedo pensar si es porque quiere la pelea o porque quiere el marketing que está alrededor de ellas.
Ella no tiene opciones. Si tú lo piensas, ella lo que está diciendo es, oh, yo me voy para el 135, ¿a pelear con quién? Tú no, think of, who are you going to fight at 35? Not Katie? Not Amanda?
No,
Tú no tienes, es like they were Matchroom. So, tú diciendo eso es like, lo que yo veo es que ella está desesperada. Ella está desesperada. Esta es la única pelea que, ok, yo te voy a ponerte presión and I'm going to try to make you look bad, pero de verdad, esa amenaza de que, mira, si tú no me peleas a mí este año, yo me voy. Eso no, like, that's not a threat because Alicia has other fights she can have. Ella puede pelear con la ganadora de Mekale versus Pursuit. Ella puede pelear con Jennifer Han, puede pelear con Maiva Hamadou, que cuando la Hyun-Mi Choi, when she finally gets up the courage, you know what I mean? She could, like, la que tiene opciones es Alicia,
Sí.
no Michaela. ¿Quién está ahí contigo para pelear? ¿Quién? You don't have nobody. It's just you.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. She may have to change her promoter.
Bueno, eso no va a pasar porque ella firmó un contrato hace como un mes y medio
Sí.
para quedarse. Ahí tú tenías tu oportunidad, porque tú ves que, mira, Top Rank, aunque esa, you know, I imagine that the people that she's worked with are good people because she decided to resign to them. So I imagine
Yeah.
that, well, you must like it over there if you resign to them. You must. But you you put distance between yourself and everything else. Esa fue tu oportunidad que, mira, si tú quieres Alicia y tú quieres esos cinturones y tú quieres pelear anywhere between 130 and 147, ahí está tu oportunidad y you made your decision. So, ¿qué se va a hacer? ¿Qué se va a hacer?
Yeah, that's this is a nivel business, you know. But at boxing level, I don't think she has the enough power and the enough skills to box against, for example, Serrano or Taylor or
Hmm.
Pearson,
Well,
maybe.
what did you think about the Jennifer Hahn fight? Ella, she was fucking her up, yo. She beat the shit out of Jennifer, man.
Yeah, she was aggressive against someone has no power.
Mm,
That's normal. You know,
mm.
when you, for example, when you feel comfortable in the ring, vos arriesgas, you know, but when you're not, you don't. So that's the reason that she performed like that against Jennifer Han.
Mm, mm,
But
mm.
do you think that she's going to perform like that against Serrano?
No, no. De verdad yo,
Against Alicia?
no. Pero también este lío que yo veo con con la pelea de Alicia y Michaela. Para mí, las dos están en el mismo nivel. The difference, Alicia, she hits harder, but
Yeah.
doesn't throw as much. She hits harder, but she doesn't throw as much. Michaela, she throws more and she can fight inside and outside, pero no tiene pegada. De verdad,
No.
no tiene pegada.
Eh, un beneficio que tiene a favor Michaela es la distancia, porque esa mujer es enorme. Me atrevo a decir que es como Cameron. The size of Mayer is like Chantel Cameron. She's big and she's
No, ella es más
130.
grande, ella es más grande. Ella sacó una foto con Cecilia Breaker y ella es más alta que Cecilia. Sí, fue
She's
alta. Fue
yes.
alta para su peso. Estoy diciendo, ella, she's big for 130.
Okay, that's one advantage that she can take to fight against Alicia. But Alicia tiene mucha jerarquía en el ring. You know, Christina Linerdo. Christina is a really good boxer.
Y es fuerte.
Yeah, she's really strong. And Alicia tenía jerarquía cuando estaba peleando con ella. So, yo creo que le puede llegar a ganar a Michaela si se le tira encima a lo Mexican style.
Bueno, también depende de cuál es el promotor, porque lo que yo veo de Michaela es que ella
Okay.
ella piensa que todo el mundo, like, see, you know, if she doesn't go to you, right? Vamos a decir, Alicia says, hey, fuck you, I'm not going over there. She has a bunch of fights she could have right there. If she doesn't fight you, who you gonna fight? Between 130 and 147, vamos a decir, todos esos cinturones, ellos están en Matchroom. Ahora lo que está pasando, mira, la Alma Ibarra, ella va a pelear con la McCaskill. Yo me imagino, si Alma le gana a McCaskill, ellos le van a ofrecer a Alma a deal. They'll offer her a deal. Ahora Alma está con Matchroom. Porque eso fue lo que pasó
Claro.
con la Jamie Mitchell, que cuando ella le ganó a Shannon Courtney, what they do? They got her a fight. So, sea lo que sea, el promotor que tiene control de todos los cinturones from 130 to 147 is Matchroom.
Yeah. Yeah. Something that I want to ask you is what happening with Golden Boy and Zenith Estrada? Because yo veo que a la carrera de Marlene ellos le están poniendo acelerador y a la de Ceniza le pusieron el freno.
Bueno, esto es lo que está pasando. Yo sé el chisme, yo sabía de ese chisme hace mucho tiempo porque yo conozco a su papá y yo hablé con él hace several months, well, several weeks ago. Y él fue que me dijo que mira, ella quiere más dinero. Y yo entiendo porque ella peleó con dos campeonas en dos diferentes pesos el año pasado. Ella merece more money. She deserves more money porque, like, it's one thing to fight two champions. It's another thing to do it at two different weights. Y ya se ve que, mira, la niña es linda, pelea bien, people like her, people follow her. Ella tiene toda la cosa, toda la imagen de una estrella. So all you
Sí,
need to do is promote her. Y si tú no le estás pagando bien, te voy a decir, mira, she could leave, she could go to Matchroom. French on, ella se fue para Matchroom y mira lo que pasó. La
yeah,
primera pelea con Matchroom, undisputed. No deje que
yeah.
esa niña se vaya porque de verdad, she could leave, bro. Yo no voy a decir el chisme entero, porque ese chisme is a good chisme, but she can leave, bro. Like, so decide, págale bien, que ella se lo merece, págale bien.
Yeah, and she can be undisputed in three different weight classes. Atom, like flyweight, and flyweight. She
Yeah,
can do it. She can do it. That it's
nadie le gana a esa
no,
niña.
no.
Nadie. The only one that stood a chance, and I didn't know, but the only one I saw that, like, she's like right here, right, or right here, is Jessica. That's it. All these other ones, they'll lose. Menos la Jessica Bob, pero la única cosa que tenía Jessica was the same thing. Está viejecita. Esa fue la única cosa que ya está viejecita.
But you said the same against Erika Farias, and look at what happened.
Sí, pero la situación es diferente. Cenicia tiene 22 peleas. 22 peleas.
Oh,
Sandy tenía 3.
oh yes, yes,
Sandy
yes, yes,
tenía
yes.
3. Y la
Yes.
Erika, ella no es estúpida. Yo veo lo que Erika hizo. Ella sabía que, mira, esta niña, ella está acostumbrada que when she throws a power punch, she's
Yeah.
accustomed to the other girl not throwing. So lo que Erika hizo, no, yo no voy a esperar. I'm a jump on her. Porque si tú esa pelea, Erika, ella no fue pendeja. She jumped on her.
Uh,
She jumped on her and she was throwing like, nah, you're not just gonna, and she even took a punch. She got hurt, but she wrote it. So it's like, Erika tiene experiencia, tiene madurez, she's durable.
sí.
Eso, y la Sandy, bueno, tú lo que tienes son 3 peleas, tú no tienes mucha experiencia, aunque tú eres grande y tienes pegada y boxea bien, tú no tienes mucha experiencia. Tú lo que estás esperando es que, mira, yo le voy a dar un trompón y ella va a caer. No, es
Sí,
más
sí.
difícil, más difícil.
No, ella aguanta. Sí, Farias fought against the best dolphin person.
Delphine
Ella
Pursuit,
aguanta.
Jessica McCaskill, 2 veces,
Machine.
Cecilia Braukes, Ana Laura Esteche. Esa tipo, ella aguanta puño, like, you're not just gonna hit her, she gonna fall down. Y yo lo que veo es que, mira, esta niña se acostumbró que en sus 3 peleas, ella se
Sí.
acostumbró que, oh, yo le voy a dar un puño y ella se va a caer. No, este es un nivel diferente. Un nivel, this ain't them girls used to fight, it's a different level. Pero I'm gonna say this: I am picking her to win the rematch. I
Yeah, yeah. I would like to watch it. I really would like to watch it. Sandy deserves it. Erika really would like. Maybe she would like to fight against Sandy against too. So that would be amazing.
Bueno, Sandy dijo de que ya va a haber revancha. Ella dijo ya que va a haber revancha. So, yo nada más estoy esperando el announcement.
No, she may need to fight against a level before two Farias and then the rematch
No,
against Farias.
eso no es lo que ella está diciendo. Si tú le
But
chequeas el
it's
Twitter, si tú le chequeas el Twitter, ella lo dice,
yeah,
revancha.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
vamos a ver.
How do you see Franchon against Cederos?
Yo dije que eso iba a pasar. Yo dije que eso iba a pasar. Que French on, si tú quieres boxear con ella, eso no va a pasar. Tú no
Ah,
puedes boxear, tú tienes que pelear. No va a haber boxeo esa noche. Y Eileen, aunque ella boxea bien, es fuertecita y grandecita, aguanta puño, ella quiere boxear. She's not gonna box with you, fam. She's gonna crowd you and she's gonna beat the shit out of you. You know what I mean?
yeah. I love Franchon. I love her skills. She can use everything. She can do everything well, you know.
Yes.
But I didn't expect the blood that I saw. I didn't
Yo,
expect that.
No, yo lo esperé porque el europeo pelea de una cierta manera que
Ajá.
esto no se le mueve. En
Oh,
vez de
sí,
mover esto,
sí,
ellos
sí,
mueven los pies, pero no mueven
sí.
esto. Y en América es diferente, pelean así, they'll change levels, they'll give different looks, they'll slip, pero yo siempre noté con Christina Hammer, con el Lindsay Rules, esto no se le mueve, se queda así. So, el money punch de Franchon is the overhand right. So, all she got, dip off to the left, man, y la noche entera, dip off to the left, man, la noche
Yeah,
entera. Like, tú tienes que mover esto, o mueve la cabeza, mueve algo.
yeah. I was surprised because they were out the ring for a long time, and then both, not only Franchon, both perform in an amazing way.
Yeah.
Ellen is a warrior.
Sí.
Yeah.
La única que yo veo que maybe tiene un chance con Franchon, dos, Shadeja Green, que ella, she's an unbeaten fighter. She hasn't really fought anybody good yet, but Jadeja Green y Hannah Gabriels. Esa es la única dos que yo veo que maybe tienen un chance, porque Hannah, ella no es pendeja y
No.
ella pelea in the pocket, que it's not because she's gonna jab and try to keep you out, she's gonna be there with you tirando puño y ya se ve que ella tiene pegada. She dropped Claressa Shields. She has a punch.
So,
So, esas son las dos que tienen the best chance. Other than that, nadie le gana nadie le gana a Franchon en esa división. Nadie, menos Claressa Shields.
but do you think that Hannah is moved down to super middleweight?
Bueno, ella está allá arribita, arribita, arribita. No hay nadie allá. No hay nadie allá arriba. ¿Quién está allá arriba? Nadie. So, calm down. Dale un dinerito. Y además, Hannah, ella no es una mujer grande. Que
No.
ella no es alta. She could get down to 168 y yo me imagino que ese peso va a ser bueno para ella. It's not all the way down to 154. It's not all the way down to 60. It's a good weight, 168. Para ella eso está bien. Va a tener la pierna grande, los brazos grandes, pero va a estar fuertecita. So para mí, esa es la pelea.
Hey, now I think coming back to Sandy, I think she's going to fight in the undercard of Shields Marshall, maybe?
Cindy Ryan, no,
No,
ella está con
no.
Matchroom. Ella
Ella
está
está
con
con
Matchroom.
Matchroom.
Sí,
Yeah.
ella está con Matchroom. Yo no sé lo que lío con Shields y Marshall, que no lo anunciaron todavía. Yo no sé lo que está pasando.
And Cameron and Race?
Cameron va a pelear con Busto.
Yeah, but what happened with Race?
Bueno, lo que yo le pregunté y yo estaba investigando qué es lo que está pasando y hay algo médico, yo no sé lo que es, porque ella no
Oh,
dijo, pero es algo médico, so yo no sé lo que está pasando. Ojalá que ella esté bien, fuertecita, porque a mí me encanta Kaylee. Es one of the nicest champions I've talked to. She's real cool. So
yes.
I just hope que mira, be healthy and take your time, porque ya me take your time porque you gotta be 100% for that fight, porque de verdad, yo lo voy a decir en español, ella no va a ganar esa pelea.
Sí, pienso lo mismo. Pienso
Esa,
lo mismo.
esa Chantel, esa niña es un animal, ella like, the animal, bro, ese tipo es un animal, pelea buenísimo esa niña. But
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, but I would like to see her against someone that is strong and active.
Bueno, está hablando de Kaylee, ¿verdad?
No, Chantel.
Este es el lío. En el 140, la pelea más mejor, Chantel Cameron versus Christina Leonardo. Esa es la pelea más mejor. El lío, Cristina tiene mucho tiempo que no ha peleado. Ella dijo que
Yeah.
ya va a volver al cuadrilátero este verano. Va a volver. She said that on her Instagram. So vamos a esperar porque para mí la única pelea that is on that level is Cameron Leonardo. Ya ella peleó con Mary McGee y Mary McGee, esa tipa pelea buenísimo, es fuerte, tiene pegada, tiene quijada, lo que no tiene la técnica. La técnica la tiene flojita.
Oh, she's a statical boxer. Ella le gusta pelear cómoda y parada, you know,
Claro.
and that's not a good option to fight against someone who has a really big amateur background, you know, like Chantel.
Exactamente.
Chantel has a lot of amateur experience, and that's the reason that that she fight the way she do, you know. But yeah, Leonardo, I would like to see Christina back in the ring right now.
Ella dijo en su Instagram que ella va a volver, she has a fight date, ya está entrenando y si tú conoces Cristina, ella se gusta, she likes to move. So she needs at least a fight. I would prefer she get 2 fights y después you fight con Cameron, porque ella le gusta moverse. She moves her legs a lot, she moves her head a lot. Eso coge su tiempito for you to get back in the swing of things. She had a baby, you know what I mean? It takes time. I don't want it to be de que una pelea y de ya, no,
Oh no.
dale su tiempito para que la pelea, so that la pelea va a ser más sabrosa si tú you'll give her a little bit of time and it'll be a great fight.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. But un chisme que quiero saber hace mucho tiempo es ¿qué pasó con el World Boxing Series del Superpluma?
Eso es, you know what it is? Look, this is what it is. Ellos hicieron una promesa that they can't deliver. I mean, that's the real thing about it, that they said that, y yo sabía que cuando ellos dijeron eso, que mira, más que me gustaría, it's not going to happen, porque el dinero has to be there, the money has to be there, you have to be able to sell tickets. And
Mhm.
the thing about the World Boxing Super Series is, okay, aunque not everybody in it was a ticket seller, Mayris Bradis was a ticket seller. You know what I mean? He could sell tickets in Latvia. You know what I mean? Murat Gassiev, he could sell tickets in Russia. So you had guys there. Naoya Inoue, you know, maybe all these other guys like Zolani Tete didn't sell no tickets and Ryan Burnett didn't sell no tickets, but Naoya Inoue en Japón, ese tipo vende. So you
Sí.
have guys that, okay, with these guys, if we do this strategically, we can sell. Pero en el Superpluma, nah, not right now, nah. Bueno, en esos tiempos no. Ahora sí, pero en esos tiempos no, you couldn't have did it. Y de que that was going to be the only tournament. There wasn't going to be another one. So.
Nice, nice. And coming back, volviendo un poco al boxeo femenino, Shields Marshall, who wins?
I haven't decided. Yo veo la manera que gana Marshall, pero eso no es diciendo que ella lo va a hacer, pero yo veo la manera que
Sí,
lo que pasa con Shields, ella es tan rápida que ella tira ese jab and the girl get hit and then they don't want to fight after that, like, yo, she's too quick. So ellos pasan la pelea entera así, la
sí,
pelea entera. Lo que se tiene que hacer con un boxeador o una boxeadora que tiene speed, you have to punch with them. If I know this, Peter Fury knows this. If Peter Fury knows this, Savannah knows this. That mira, don't let the speed intimidate you. No deja que el contragolpe, don't let it intimidate you. Punch with her because that's your best bet to catch her. La cuestión is she gonna do that? Porque that's how you do it. That's how you take her out. Punch with her.
Es una pelea muy exigente para las dos, porque si Savannah quiere conectar a Clarissa va a tener que usar mucho la cintura, pero va a tener que usar la cintura en los 10 rounds, no en 3 ni en 4 como lo viene haciendo.
Mm-hmm.
When she fought against Rankin es más bajita que ella,
Sí.
and she used la cintura very well. But Clarissa has a perfect timing, so she need to be fast from here.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yo
and
voy a
this
decir,
his head.
el dynamic que, mira, esto es lo que tiene que hacer Savannah. Ya se sabe lo que tiene que hacer Clarissa. Clarissa has to keep it a boxing match porque ella no tiene pegada to knock anybody out. What Savannah has to do is tira, just throw, go, just open around, throw. Because if you let this become a boxing match, you're gonna lose. You have to throw. The more you throw, the better chance you have to knock her out. But if you don't throw and you try to pick your punches and you jabbing and you switch, it's not gonna work. You have to throw. You gotta go in there como que tú la quieres matar a ella. That's your best bet because you're not gonna win a boxing match.
No, but I think all of the things that Clarissa is saying on Twitter and on the to the media is it's for marketing. You know,
Yeah.
she knows that she can knock Savannah Marshall out, and she knows she hasn't the power. You know, but I think the way that Clarissa is going to win is in the middle distance. You know,
Yeah.
en la media distancia ella puede ganarle a Marshall porque hay un problema cuando la diferencia de brazos es demasiada, you know? And Marshall has a long hair, tiene los brazos muy largos, you know? So if Clarissa in the middle distance, you know, she's going to beat Marshall not easily,
Posiblemente.
but clearly.
Posiblemente, porque for her to get mid range it'll be mid range for her. If Marshall takes a half step back, you're back on the outside. If she
Yeah.
takes a half step back, if she 1-2-1 and gets back on the outside, all right, you're not in mid range no more, and now you have to come in mid range. And while you coming in, okay, ahí ella te puede dar tu pecozón. Yo veo manera que Marshall puede ganar, pero él it's psychologically that like yo, you have to realize yo, fuck her speed, man. Fuck
Yeah.
the belts, fuck the speed, fuck the medals, fuck all of that. I'm here to knock you out, and that's it. Y si ella no tiene esa mentalidad, si ella se pone media pendeja the day of the fight, ella va a perder. Yeah, you're gonna look like you gotta go in there. Que mira, yo, I'm gonna fucking bite her fucking head off, yo. I'm real shit. Y si ella no tiene esa mentalidad, forget it. The fight is already lost. Porque ya lo que tiene Clarissa is she's confident. Oh, you know, like we could say that the fight is this, that the fight is that, that oh, you didn't knock out, but yo, she can box, dog. If she can't do nothing else, she can box. And she can beat you if you let her.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Hey, what happened on the chat? Everybody's
Vamos
talking.
a ver. Salute ring a Q-Box and Dev in the chat. Sofía, when you get up there, I'll let you know. ¿Qué están hablando esta maldita gente, coño? I feel like Canelo is really going to have to work to touch Bivol. La pelea esta semana, sí. Bueno, este es el peligro para Bivol. Bivol boxea lindo, buena técnica linda, tiene pegada, tiene quijada, but he doesn't have volume. You don't throw a lot of punches. En pelea que él está ganando, you don't throw a lot of punches. Si él te está poniendo la presión a ti, si el Canelo, side to side, slip in the jab, catch, shoot, hook to the body, he's going to look busier than you. And even if he's not hurting you, he's going to look busier than you. Y ahí él puede ganar el round without even hurting you. So es el lío.
Ok, yo debatí con narices rotas on my channel about this, and you know, I think Canelo is going to beat Bivol because Bivol en sus últimas 3, 4 peleas estuvo siendo monótono, you
Sí.
know, he was monotonous. So
Mhm.
what happened here? If he tried to use the volume against someone like Canelo, he's going to lose because Canelo is not someone to prove something new,
Sí, es
you
verdad.
know. Eso es
Y
verdad.
él es más pequeñito. Si tú le hablas a muchos boxeadores, ellos te dicen que when the opponent is smaller, it's actually
Es más
harder.
difícil.
Es más difícil because the target is smaller. Y porque Canelo, sí, Canelo, what we talked about, Canelo no boxea así, no, él boxea así, crouch,
Ajá.
así, slipping, 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 and he's coming forward, slipping, slipping, catch, shoot, bang. It's different than peleando con ese tipo de the UK, Craig Richards, que él es altísimo. So you have a big target. El dominicano Lenin Castillo, that's a big target. Like all the guys you fought are big targets. This is a small target that moves his waist, moves his
Yeah.
head, covers up real good. He's fast. I don't know who's gonna be faster on the night porque people know al paso. Like he's not slow, but this is a naturally smaller guy. 9 times out of 10, the naturally smaller guy is faster.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. You know, I can say it by my personal experience. You know, boxing. When you fight with someone is cuando es chiquito, you know, it's difficult because ellos se mueven más rápido y son escurridizos. Y I think Canelo is going to do something like that. You know, but uh, I don't think I don't think that he's going to win by a knockout.
Yo tampoco. Yo me
Um,
imagino que va a ser el volumen, the volume is what's going to win him the fight. Que él está tirando. Yo me imagino que posiblemente it's going to be another version of Canelo versus Smith, but a little better. Porque también este tipo, él aguanta puño bien. Este tipo no es, él no es flojito. He's
so,
strong and he's fast, but it's like he's going to see, all right, I'm getting hit. Let me cover up. Let me get back on my jab. Let me move. And that's what he's going to be doing. Yo no me imagino, and I would be surprised if he does, if he steps into his jab. Step it, like take it to Canelo. He's fucking little. Take it to him. If you're bigger, use your size. I want to see if he's actually going to do that, because if he doesn't do that, okay, pues tú perdiste ya. I already got you down 5 rounds on my card. Or 5.
Uh, I bet that Canelo is going to knock down Bivol on the latest rounds. You know, maybe
Really?
in the tenth
Really?
round. Yeah, I think so.
¿Cómo tú ves Canelo con better beef?
This is a different story. If, but for example, this fight es más difícil para Canelo, you know, because he's
Sí,
going to use a style that he's not his of his preference, you know. En esta pelea va a tener que usar algo como un Mexican style, no 100%, pero él va a tener que presionar.
sí.
Entonces, ¿qué pasa? A Canelo le queda cómodo que se le tengan encima.
Sí. Pero lo
Con,
bueno es él tiene la preparación, porque la
eh,
última dos peleas, la última con Billy Joe Saunders, even though I think Billy has good feet, he moves
sí,
well, he shifts well. El Caleb, él va a ser más o menos lo que Bivol va a hacer, on the back foot,
eh,
moving and jabbing and 1-2-1 and then getting. That's what he's gonna do. Like, yo no me imagino que Bivol all of a sudden va a ser agresivo and he's gonna try to beat the shit. Like, that's not how he fights. He never fights like that. So vamos a ver.
ok, él no estuvo siendo tan agresivo en sus últimas peleas, you know. So how can you pretend to do aggressive against someone who has a really good level, you know? Eso no es inteligente.
Exactamente, no se puede estar. You can't experiment con Canelo.
No,
You can experiment con esta gente que están aquí, pero no con este tipo, porque ya él tiene su identity como un boxeador. Él ya sabe quién él es, qué él va a hacer y toda su vaina. Tú, aunque me gusta el vivo, you can't experiment with Canelo.
sí,
You haven't been an aggressive boxer before. Your best bet is to keep him out and snap his head back if you can. You have to show the judges, look, I'm touching him with my jab. I'm touching him with my jab. That's what you have to show them. Because if you try to open up, if you try to put 2, 3 punches together, ahí viene el contragolpe de Canelo. Because he's very
sí.
good at the catch and shoot. He's very good at that. So I like the fight, and I think esta pelea is more frustrating que Charlo. Charlo no es nada. Ese tipo no es nada.
No.
Ese tipo no es
Benavides
nada.
tampoco.
So,
Y Ramírez tampoco.
lo único bueno que tiene Ramírez que él es un zurdo y él es altecito. So you're gonna have to hit him. If you want to take him out, you're gonna have to hit him, and you're gonna have to hit him clean. Pero he's not even. Él no es nada especial. He's nothing
No,
special. Nothing special.
no. Pero creo que con Beterbiev esa pelea se va a ajustar más a Canelo.
Sí.
Volviendo a ese tema, el Beterbiev se le ajusta más a él porque el tipo se le va a venir encima.
La única cosa es que si Canelo le puede aguantarle la pegada, porque you know what they say,
Sí,
power is the last thing to go. Like speed goes, legs go, but el
yeah.
poder, that's the last thing to go. Y aunque él es viejecito, él no tiene mucha pelea tampoco. To where he's
No,
damaged y tú sabes que está acabado, que todos los puños y todo eso. No, ese tipo no tiene mucha pelea.
no, but I think Canelo has a good defense.
No sé
He
si.
has a good defense to fight against Beterbiev. I don't think he can beat Usyk, for example, because he was saying that he would like to move up. And, no.
Eso es demasiado, eso es demasiado en el futuro, man.
Yeah,
Eso es demasiado, esa vaina. Vamos a ver, porque todo es posible en el boxeo también, todo es posible, pero eso no es
no, pero
ahora.
Usyk es en otro nivel.
Eso, esa es otra cuestión, bro, we'll see, when the time comes. Por ahora, es Bivol. And like I said, I think that because Bivol is so responsible and he's quick and he moves, it's more of a challenge que un Charlo. Charlo, ese tipo no hace nada, man. Que ese tipo no, dude is regular, bro. He's basic. He's a basic guy. Benavides, misma vaina. Oh, because you come forward y tú eres alto. Bro, Canelo became Canelo off of aggressive opponents. When he was young, when he was at 154, aggressive guys made him look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's how he started out. So if you come in trying trying to crowd him, bro, you just gonna make him look good. The best fights, 175, is Bivol. Better beef.
Yeah, but after fighting Bivol, he's facing Triple G.
Lo va a noquear.
Okay, Lamazon told me that that won't happen. That won't happen.
Yo me imagino que sí, porque ya el blueprint is out. Everybody knows. Ellos vieron la pelea con Sergey
Murata.
Virvianchenko. Ellos vieron la pelea con Murata, que aquí aguanta puño la noche entera, pero aquí no. Aquí
Eh,
no.
eh.
Ya todo el mundo sabe. So everybody knows. So if you keep the press, like a lot of guys can't apply the same pressure that Canelo applies. Golovkin, you know, he's a great, he's a great boxer. Pero ese tipo tiene 40 años, que lo que es. Tipo tiene 40 años.
Ah, personalmente no me gustó su pelea con Murata. Me insultaron mucho incluso por lo que dije. Pero he looked bad. He looked bad. You know.
Yeah.
I know that he was going to knock him out. You know, but no esperaba que se vea tan mal. Se
Bueno,
vio
después de ese
mal.
tiempo, ese tipo tiene 40 años, no peleó en más de 12 meses. Ese Murata, aunque he was inactive, ese tipo es grandecito y él es fuerte y tiene la cabeza dura. Mira cuántos puños tenía que aguantar before he finally fucking knocked him out. Ese tipo aguanta puño.
Yeah, but I think he has a. No sé, no quiero hablar de más, you know, but se nota que en las rodillas de Triple G no son las mismas. Nonito Donaire has 40 years old and look how he is.
Pero ese
He's,
tipo es
he's
pequeñito,
yeah,
pequeñito,
he's a
sí.
monster, but he's 40. Naoko Fukuoka, she's 46.
Es verdad. Bueno, bueno, vamos a decir esto. El Gennady, él estaba allá en California con Abu y las mujeres y los parties y toda la like, I don't know, like, it's true. Naoko aged well. Esa mujer tiene como 46 años.
Sí.
Nonito, ese tipo tiene 40 años, pero mira lo que le hizo a Ubali, mira lo que le hizo a Raymar Gaballo. He looks
Can you
amazing.
see the, you know his face?
Sí.
Le cambió la
El
cara.
ojo está así,
Yeah.
mira como Margarito le puso el ojo al tipo, man. Él lo va a
Uh,
noquear esta vez. No,
yeah,
no.
I remember. I made an interview to Nonito. I am going to do this public because he's going to be my invited in the next weeks. And I made him an interview, and I think he's going to beat Naosha.
Yo tengo una olla noqueando.
I don't think so. Porque, ¿sabe por qué? Porque cuando ese ojo vuelva a sentir la mano izquierda, quiero ver cómo reacciona el japonés.
Ok, esto es lo que es. Yo oí algo que Nonito dijo que me gustó, que that's a good plan, que ahora yo conozco su ritmo y ahora yo voy a venir para pelear. Antes you know, he said something, I'm like, I get it. But I'm like, this dude is fast as fuck, bro. And he did drop you before. It's like, yes, you have the experience from the first fight to bring to the second fight, but so does he, and he's younger. So it's like,
Okay, I talked with him and I asked him, hey, what happened in the fight with Naoshi in the first fight because we saw a different Nonito and he told me I wake it up and I know that I can beat him and this fight I will beat him.
si él gana,
I believe.
el mundo se va a acabar, va a venir papá Dios, él va a abrir el cielo y ya, like, that's it, everybody, it's over.
Yeah, ese hombre es un animal, pero
No,
yo creo que lo puede ganar.
yo creo que es posible. Yo creo que es posible, but I'm not banking on it. But do I believe that Nonito can hurt him? 100% I do. That dude punches hard at 118. That dude punches hard, man. A lot of guys won't beat today's Nonito. Si ese el otro tipo, if Casemiro would have fought him, Nonito would have knocked him out, man. Would have
Sí,
knocked him out. Like, real shit. The only guy I see at 118 que le gana a Nonito is Naoya
you
Inoue.
know what?
It's the only one. The other guys
Sí,
won't do it. Bueno,
que le,
bueno, lo
Nonito.
que están diciendo esta gente. What are your thoughts on Southpaw 77 He tried to get on here the other day. He tried to get on here, and I just kicked him out real fast porque ya se ve lo que le gusta hacer a ese tipo. Like, ese tipo tiene problemas psicológicos, man. No, de verdad, sin juego. I don't know if you ever heard of this guy, pero si tú ves a alguien Southpaw 773, don't even let him on your channel, que le gusta decir malas palabras, faltarle respeto a la gente. Ya yo vi lo que él hizo en los canales de otra gente. So when he tried to get on here, yo ni le di chance que mira, watch him out, y después, get the fuck out there. You don't have to be here, bro.
¿Quién es? ¿Quién es?
Un tipo que se llama Southpaw 773.
I don't know.
Zurdo 773.
I don't know him.
You're better off not knowing him.
Okay.
Trust me, you're better off not knowing him. Ese tipo habla pura mierda, man, pura mierda.
Yeah, but there are a lot of people that are talking a lot of shit. You know?
Ya tú ves que everybody on Twitter fucking hates me. Everybody.
No, Twitter es volátil. Twitter es volátil. You should take care. You should take care because, you know, decís algo o yo lo dije la otra vez o estás de un lado o estás del otro.
Sí.
And that has no sense, you know.
Ya tú ves que mira, I'm nice to everybody, dog. I'm polite to everybody, pero sin embargo, I have all these fucking people that are mad at me. I'm like, yo, what the fuck, yo? I didn't do anything. Okay? Yeah, that's Twitter, man. Twitter's volatile, man. Volatile. It's terrible.
Okay, someone asked me something, you know. No, yo soy. Hi, Harry, unboxing there. Hey, how are you? Alguien me está preguntando si soy de Ecuador, pero yo no soy de Ecuador.
Ella es de Argentina, man. Tú lo puedes oír. ¿Qué es lo que? It's obvio. It's obvious,
Ni
bro.
cerca, ni cerca de Ecuador, ni cerca.
Like, fortunately, Naoya has also progressed since the first Donaire fight, especially the Maloney one. That's true. He did look good against Maloney. He did look good against Das Marinas. There was a kickboxer that he fought though in Japón. He didn't look great in that fight. Su última pelea, he fought a kickboxer over there in Japan. He didn't look great, pero no fue que it wasn't that he was getting hit. It's just that it took him a while to get the guy out of there. That's what it was. It took him a while to get the guy out of there.
The real Naoya, we are going to see it in against Nonito.
Sí.
Ese va a ser el verdadero Naoya.
Jules, how do you feel about Bud's comment on cleaning 147 and 154? I believe he can do it. I told you. I don't believe. You know how I feel about Spence, bro. Look, Keyshawn Davis said it earlier today in an interview. He said it better than I could. Errol's good, but he has one base style. He has one. And the only adjustment that he makes in a fight is he throws more. He ups the tempo. But other than that, he don't pivot. He don't shift his weight on the other foot to get on the side of the... Like, he doesn't do that. That's why when he fought Sean, him and Sean ended up trading because he doesn't shift. When that same Sean fought Crawford and rushed him, Crawford moved the weight to his other foot and he shifted and caught him with a hook on the side. It's like, it's levels, bro. Spence is okay. Crawford is elite. Y porque tú peleaste con Broken Brook, Danny García, que no sirve. Like, eso no me dice a mí nada, man. Eso no es nada. Like, because Crawford couldn't beat Danny Garcia? Come on, B. He'll probably knock Danny out.
I think Crawford is avoiding Spence. You know?
Nah, I don't think so.
Because why don't he's talking about UNFI and welterweight? Y él ahora habla de pelear con el ganador de Charlo Castano.
No, él dijo primero yo peleo con Spence. Primero, y después que yo acabo con Spence, después yo voy a subir y yo voy a pelear con el ganador de esa pelea. Y eso a mí me gusta, que sí, why not? Yo make up for lost time. Los últimos 2 años fueron un fracaso. So, yeah, go up. You know, if you wanna go up after that, go ahead.
¿Y cómo ves a mi paisano con Charlo?
De verdad, yo me imagino que lo va a noquear. Porque Brian lo sorprendió con su fuerza y su presión. Él lo sorprendió. Like, Charlo is used to getting respect when he fights guys. Brian is strong and he throws a lot of punches. Que si tú quieres boxear, we're not gonna box, bro. I'm gonna rush you. And Charlo couldn't deal with that. Ahora en esta segunda pelea, lo que yo veo que who's gonna make the adjustment? Who can make an adjustment to get the other guy out of there? They both hurt each other in the first fight. They both hurt each other. But 9 times out of 10, who makes the adjustment? The pressure fighter or the boxer puncher? The boxer puncher. They usually make the adjustment.
I think Brian is going to surprise everybody. I think he can does the adjustments, the correct adjustments to take the win. Uh, Me cuesta un poco a veces hablar de peleadores de mi país porque bueno, soy son mis hermanos,
Ah,
but
bueno,
it's a,
ahí yo me salvé porque yo soy dominicano y nosotros
yeah.
no sabemos cómo pelear. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But yeah, that's how I could be unbiased. Yo no soy mexicano, yo no soy puertorriqueño, yo no soy. So cuando yo lo veo, I'm just looking at the fight, bro, and I'm like, look, this is what I see. Que es como la pelea de Derek Chisora y Joseph Parker. Yo dije en la primera pelea, Derek lo va a sorprender porque le es fuerte y le va a ponerle mucha presión. Y a lo primero, Joseph is not gonna like it. Después en la segunda pelea, yo dije, mira, Joseph, he experienced the first fight. He knows what to do now. You're not gonna change anything about what you're doing, but he is. And he did change something. He added the uppercut.
I don't think so. I think Castano is going to surprise Charlo, is going to hurt Charlo, and is going. I don't know if he's going to knock Charlo out, but he's going to knock him down. He tried to do it in the first fight. Casi que lo logra, lo agarró. Yeah. But this second fight is going to be different. Porque mira bien los detalles, ¿verdad? Eh, when Castano was trying to get married, Charlo wanted it to
Sí,
fight. ¿En
sí,
dónde quería poner el ring? In the middle, on the party. That's stupid. Él estaba apurado por pelear.
sí.
¿Por qué? Porque está preocupado. He
También, no,
is,
él se quiere moverse para arriba, eso es lo que es. He wants to leave. Ese tipo tiene años en el 154, ese tipo tiene años en esa división y ya yo lo que veo que el cuerpo de él is telling him go up. That's what I
bueno,
see.
esa es la respuesta. Castaño esperó para hacer la pelea. Incluso pidió más tiempo por el injury. But you are saying that Charlo needs to move up.
Yeah.
So what is going to happen with his physical strongest right now?
Double-edged sword. I believe that Charlo wants to move up and needs to move up, but I also believe that Castano, if the injury is real, and I'm going to assume that it's real, I don't,
Sí.
I'm going to assume that it's real. If it's real, no, I don't like that because Castano is not a guy that can fight one-handed if the injury starts to act up. He punches with both hands. You know what I mean? He's a volume guy. He's a pressure guy. And if you going in there injured, eso a mí no me gusta. I don't like that.
No, pero el punto es que el cuerpo de Charlo le pide subir.
Sí,
Castaño le pidió más tiempo para que siga en el 154. So, ¿qué va a pasar? Para mí, que Charlo no va a llegar con la misma fuerza a esta segunda pelea. Y es una
posiblemente.
ventaja que tomó el equipo de Castaño. Es más, parte del entrenamiento de Charlo no lo hizo con su entrenador.
Sí, es
And
verdad.
that's a guy that he likes to have a lot of the attention on him and all of that times. And he feel that he's important, that he feel that he's more than you. So creo que en esta segunda pelea todo eso va a jugar en contra. Not only the fight inside the ring, the fight outside the ring too.
Pero ponlo tú. Con la pelea, with the fight that he fought, see, most people feel Brian won the first fight, right? Most people feel Brian won the first fight.
Sí.
Sin embargo, the judges scored it for Charlo. So ya se ve ahí who the promotion is behind. The
Sí.
promotion is behind Charlo. So see, no, if it didn't work the first time, if they didn't give it to you, how are we gonna believe that they're gonna give it to you now? Short of you knocking him out, you have to knock him out because ya se sabe they want to give it to Charlo. They want to give it to Charlo, and then they want to move him up the middleweight. They'll move his brother up the super middleweight, y después ahí yo veo ventaja for Brian to get a belt, for Fundora to get a belt, for Tim Tszyu to get a belt. Y ese ruso, nobody knows who he is, but I know he.
Matrimov.
Murtasali, no, Murtasaliev, porque he's the
Oh,
mandatory. Murtasaliev is the mandatory by way of the IBF. Ahí yo veo la ventaja de, okay, now the belts are going to be redistributed after this fight is over. Because if he wins, he's not going to stay, and he's definitely not going to fucking fight Fundora. Like, bro, you see what he did to Lubin? He beat the fucking shit out of Lubin. Yo dije que, mira, ese muchacho, él es demasiado, ese Fundora es demasiado, man.
yeah. Okay, let's talk about. Okay. Vos decís que los juicios le van a dar la pelea a Charlo, you know, because everybody knows that. But, ¿quién pensás que va a ganar arriba del ring? Porque eso es otra cosa, ¿no? You know, you have two fights. The judges fight and the physical fight with your opponent.
I'm going to say, usually what I see when it's boxer puncher, pressure fighter, it's always the same. Whoever makes the adjustment doesn't have to be big. Like yo le pregunté a Tim Bradley, que cuando él estaba aquí, yo le pregunté, what is the adjustment que Charlo tiene que hacer para ganar? Porque yo lo que veo es que él tiene más ventaja to make an adjustment. So what is it going to be? And he said he's going to throw more. Él va a tirar más puño. Because the reason most people feel Brian beat him is because Brian was throwing more. Brian went in there tirando hell for leather, throwing mad punches. The adjustment that Charlo has to make is match him, match his work rate, throw more. Ahora, there's two ways to look at that. If you throw more, there's more
Se
chances
va
of
a
you
cambiar.
knocking. If you throw more, there's more chances of you knocking him out. But if you throw more, there's more chances of him knocking you out. So who do you think is going to get it? They both hurt each other in that fight. I seen Brian hurt him. I seen Charlo hurt him. So
Yeah.
todavía es 50-50. Pero en esa situación, coupled with el promotor, la política, tú sabes, Charlo.
Yeah, but te voy a decir lo que va a pasar. Te voy a decir, I will give you my prediction, you know. Charlo is going to throw more, but it's going to be, va a estar cansado en el round 5, porque
Mm,
tiró y porque su cuerpo yo no le aguanto, you
mm.
know. Y ahí es cuando Brian, en la segunda mitad de la pelea, va a tomar la ventaja.
Vamos a ver. That's a bold prediction. Like, yo lo que veo es que if there's a Charlo brother, I think, I'm not even going to say it because you know what? Then people could use it against me. I'm going to watch the fight. I'm just going to watch both of the Charlo brothers fight. Él va a pelear con un polaco que él es medio alto. He has a little bit of speed. He has a good one, too. His name is Sulietsky. And I don't know. Something's telling me, watch that fight. Something's just watch that fight. Watch that. Because I'm like, like he's not, like, Jamal is not good, bro. Like, I don't know why people think he's like, what do you see that he's like, what does he do? He's basic.
No, he did Jamal did a great job with Daravyashenko, you know, but
Ah, come on, ese tipo ya estaba acabado. Él estaba en una guerra con Gennady Golovkin. Y no
sí.
peleó para, like, you told me, like, look, he got dropped in the Golovkin fight. And it was a hard fight for both of them that lasted 12 rounds. Después de eso, en vez de darle una pelea, so he could get back in the winner's bracket, a little easy, when uno que es fácil, no, él se sienta ahí por un año, no pelea, y después de
Sí.
get... So, of course, Charlo, of course you did a good job with him, because look at the circumstances. It's always the same thing. Ahora tú estás peleando con un tipo, en vez de pelear con Demetrius Andrade, tú estás peleando con un tipo that he beat. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
that dude is not good, fam. That dude is not good. Nah, ese tipo no sirve. Ya yo estoy harto de ese tipo, man.
I'm agree. Suleki, you know?
Solievsky.
Sulevsky. Yeah.
Y ese tipo boxea. Él no es no es malo el tipo. Él no es nada especial, pero he's not bad though. Like, nah, he has a good one too, good jab, good speed. He doesn't have a lot of variety on the inside, but he's tall. He's never been knocked out. He only has 2 losses: Danny Jacobs, Demetrius Andrade. Those are only 2 guys that ever beat him. Right now, he's not coming off a loss. He's coming off a win. So, you know, vamos a ver lo que pasa. We'll see what happens.
Sí, a Camboso también lo llevaban the display against Teofimo Lopez and look at what happened, you know. I think every you always need to have the benefits of the dude, you know? You only need to do it here because this is boxing, you know? You know
Cualquier
what?
vaina puede pasar. Cualquier vaina.
Sí, sí. El
Surprises happen
Charlo,
all the time.
sí, sí, yo lo creo, yo lo creo. Ah,
Yo dije que, mira, ah, ah, yo dije que Fundora was gonna beat Lubin. I said it on my channel. There was people that told me that no, que Lubin, you know, and I'm like, look, esta es la vaina. Lubin boxea más mejor que Fundora, pero Lubin, no, he's not, yo no sé la palabra en español, durable.
sí,
No,
no dura, no
no,
aguanta.
no, no aguanta. Aunque él boxea bien, el tipo no aguanta y la presión que ese muchacho le va a poner, he's gonna beat him. Y I feel like it could happen to Charlo, porque mira cuántos años tiene ese tipo en el 160. Muchos años ya. Él subió, he went up there in 2017 y ya estamos en 2022. ¿Qué son esos? 6 años, 6, 7 años en esa división, peleando con puro muerto.
Eh,
Manuel Deribienchenko.
eh. Sí, pero el Derevenchenko lo agarró after fighting Triple G, you know. Eso es lo mismo que agarrar a alguien que se le cayó un edificio encima.
Oh, I think I got a troll. He said, let me see. I'm Paru, all right, well, nobody fucking cares.
Hey, oh my god, what happened with him?
Yo no sé.
Mucha
Bro,
gente loca.
esta gente son, let me see. Bro was so frustrated he started speaking Spanish.
Uh, I'm gonna let you go. Oh, she remembered me something. Sophie Alice is back.
Oh, sí, 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 ella va a pelear este viernes en Alemania,
Finally.
en Alemania. Yo no sé por qué ella, yo no sé, like, no, pero ella tenía una pelea. She just had a fight.
Ella ya peleó y ahora vuelve a pelear.
Sí, ella peleó, I think she fought last month, early last month, and now they're getting her back out there. She's about to have another fight. También vuelve Katarina Tanders
Ya.
la semana que viene. Y también esta semana va a pelear a Christina Hammer. Vamos a ver con quién. Y yo tengo que mirar a la tipa que ella va a pelear porque normalmente ella no pelea con nadie, Christina Hammer.
No.
Ella boxea bien, pero no pelea con nadie. Like, hace años que she fought. Ever since she lost the Shield, she doesn't fight nobody. So,
No, she likes to be the bully, you know. That's the reason that she's taking girls that has no experience.
pero ahora ella, mira, ella está en la división de Frenchon. Si tú no quieres pelear con ella, pues retírate entonces. Retírate. Because no hay, ella tiene todos los cinturones. She has all the belts. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. Middleweight, ya, tú no le vas a ganarle a Serrano.
Nah,
Marsh, like, you're not gonna beat none of them, yo. So
no.
either fight Frenchon or retire.
Franchon la va a matar.
La mata.
Franchon la va a matar. But I love Sophie Alice. I
Me
love her.
gusta Sophie. Ella está en el
30,
120.
126.
Bueno, 126, 126, y en el 126 hay like it's starting to be more people en el 126, like a
Ya.
lot of young talented fighters. Pero te voy a decir ahora, si llega el día que Christina Hammer pelea con Frenchan, Frenchan le va a dar una salsa más mala que la salsa que le dio Claressa, porque
Eh,
Frenchan tiene pegada, te saca la sangre esa mujer. It'll be worse.
si ella le... Franchon, lo que le hizo a Cederros. La gente
Ajá.
de Europa es dura, you know. I think Cederros is from Switzerland or something like
Sweden,
that.
yeah, she's from Sweden.
Okay, she's from Sweden, you know. She, she was, su cara sangraba, you know. Y Christina Hammer escupía el bucal cuando peleó con Shields. ¿Sabes lo
Ujú.
que le va a pasar? Si ella llega a escupir el bucal con Franchon, le va a romper la quijada.
Mira, ella no aguanta puño bien porque si tú vas para los videos viejos, que cuando ella peleó con Sofía and Matisse, Sofía knocked her out, pero porque estaban en Alemania, oh no, it's a DQ. Anywhere else in the world, that would have been a knockout. But because they were in, oh no, it's a how is it? Why is she disqualified? What did she do? It was Christina that was holding her glove. She was holding Sophie. What I remember, she was holding her glove because she was trying to clinch. Y Sofía Matisse le estaba haciendo así, in the clinch. And they like, oh, DQ. Like, how is that a DQ? She's holding her. Really, she should have two losses. Pero.
You know, okay. Thank you so much to invite me to your show. I'm gonna let you go, but thank you so much and appreciate this moment so much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Now we're gonna talk about Kevin Samuels. I'm gonna check Twitter to see if the news is real because I don't know if that news is real. I don't know if that's real. I'm gonna check. See what everybody talking about. Jay, holla at me. Is that news real?
What news we talking?
Yo, man, I'm hearing it's real, Jules.
It's real, bro. Like he really kicked the bucket.
I think he did. Yeah, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. No,
And,
no, I don't know the cause of death yet. I mean, that's still yet to be
Damn,
But
B.
yeah,
That's
man.
and Ron Boy got Fat Boy in his feelings responding on Twitter already.
wait. Who he got? Who Ron got in his
Who
feelings?
Tank? You talking about Tank?
Tank went. Go look at him, Jules.
Hold on, let
Someone
me
tweeted
see.
to Tank. Someone tweeted Tank, "Hey, you're Canelo's favorite fighter right now." And Ron Boy tweeted, "Oh, he's just trying to poach Fat Boy away from Floyd." and then Tank goes, "Yeah, this Fat Boy got more money than you. Pull up to the fights." So I go like, "Damn, Ron, Fat Boy using that money line like it's a person that like having money is a personality trait, not knowing you be at all the fights."
Listen, ain't even that. That I got money shit is what motherfuckers that ain't got no game say. Like, bruh, fuck your
And
money,
then
man.
Rob Boy's all, "Hey, Fat Boy, I be at real fights like the one this last weekend. You're not
I'm gonna
gonna
say.
ride my way to sell tickets."
Let me say this. Let me say this. It's like he using that Floyd shit. Like that's that Floyd. He been around Floyd. Like I got money. So fucking what? And and
Like, I got money too. Like me and Rob Boy pulled up $600 tickets, Amex Platinum, living comfortable in a suite. Like, come on, bro. Okay, you got more money. And
but it ain't even that. You got money and you ain't got no game, fam. They been gaming
exactly,
you for
like
years, fam. Like you can
having
have
money,
money. They
like you
gaming you
said,
out
Jules,
your money.
having money is not a personality trait.
They think it is because that's what Floyd tell them. That's what Floyd tell them. But real shit, let's just talk about. I want to talk about what I wanted to get guys on here and talk about is look, we already know what Tom Brown said, right? We already know he said that they was willing to feed Errol to Canelo. So my question, and I'm gonna start with Jay, if they was willing to feed Errol to Canelo, how does that make you feel about the Crawford fight?
That they didn't want it. They wanted the horror roll out with Canelo. That's pretty much what they wanted to do. Sums it up in a nutshell. And honestly, it's like now if they was willing to do this, who's to say we could get that fight still? You know what I mean?
That's where I'm going with it. Drew, do you feel, based on what Tom Brown said, do you feel that they're committed to doing the Crawford fight?
I think they wanted to sell Spence's O to Canelo and have the final payday be Crawford because, okay, he loses to Canelo. Okay, we still got another payday right here with Crawford.
Nah, because if you cash him out, see the way I look at it is the beating you gonna get from Canelo, like remember the money you gonna make, right? You
Yeah.
ain't gonna make you gonna make the kind of money to where you ain't gotta fight again this year. Plus you gonna get your ass beat, so you really ain't gonna fight again this year. You know what I mean? Like let's say if they do the fight, if they would have did the fight, let's say Cinco de Mayo of this year, right? Let's say Canelo would have took the deal. Cinco de Mayo, you know, that he would have been fighting, in other words, Spence this weekend instead of Bivol. All right, Spence would have took the rest of the year off behind the ass whooping he would have got. He wouldn't have fought Crawford, bro. That's what I'm getting
Yeah,
at.
no, like I'm just thinking in terms of like, okay, we still have an undisputed fight if Errol wants another payday to right off in the sunset too.
Yeah, but you're gonna be damaged goods, and it ain't even gonna be nowhere near the same bread. It ain't.
No, it's not. But you know how they you know how they think over there, and like it just shows like, bro. So Canelo, I don't. It does the geometry's like, okay, damn, Canelo, you ducking Charlo Benavidez to go up to 175 for Bivol, but oh, Spence is a warrior for wanting to go fight Canelo at a catchweight. That shit's hilarious.
It doesn't, yeah, like the shit, like, look, I done seen all that shit, and I feel like I addressed all that shit, because it's fucking, some of the shit is too stupid to really sit there and, like, yo, you really think he gonna duck a welterweight with a fucking light heavyweight? How much sense does that make, fam?
My God, I mean, I just
Like I don't even know. I can't even put that shit in a sentence. Like, yo, you think he really gonna duck this little? Yo, you got staggered by Ugas, fam, and Ugas is not even a big puncher.
He got staggered like 3 times in that
That's
fight.
what I said. Ugas threw 3 punches that whole fight. Ugas threw 3 punches, and all 3 of them shits hurt Errol. All 3 of them shits.
And the funny thing is, Jules, Canelo's giving you so much good snippets and material this week.
Is he though?
When they asked him about, they asked him about Sulecki, and he's like, "Who's that?"
Yo, my God. Yo, but he wasn't being funny when he did that shit. He was being dead ass. Like,
he was dead serious. Like, who that?
Who is that?
I never heard of him. Like,
that was like when Conor McGregor said, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
Listen. If Demetrius Andrade is a guy who a lot of people don't watch, what do you imagine his opponents are? Like, who is that? Who's Sovietsky? Who is that? It's like, bro, man, like the shit is gold. But look, I'm more thinking about this weekend's fight. I just talked about it with Boxing Dev, and I feel like, look, Canelo's the logical choice, at least for me. I'm gonna say it now. I'm probably gonna do a prediction video later, later on tomorrow. But he's the logical choice for me because the main thing is volume. Unless Dimitri plans on stepping into his jab and hitting the gas and going for a knockout or just imposing his size, he doesn't characteristically do that. He's not a characteristically aggressive fighter. So because he's not characteristically aggressive, I feel like as long as Canelo's on the front foot and he's ripping shots to the body and he's letting go of power shots, they don't even have to land. He could win on volume just off of that. Leo, you're pretty good with predictions. How do you see the fight?
Canelo versus Bivol?
Yeah, Canelo versus Bivol.
Look, I think Bivol is going to try to assert himself in the center of the ring, but his habits are gonna take over. The habit that Bivol has is he defends to the body with his feet.
Yeah.
He takes a step back, and Canelo's gonna, after two rounds, Canelo's gonna start to feint. He's gonna start to making looser terrain. He's gonna put him in the corner. Gonna start connecting shots. That's gonna be the history of the fight. Bivol is gonna do his best with his jab, but after a while, that jab is not gonna connect anymore.
That's kind of how I see it. Like Bivol, and it's not a knock on. Like, I don't want anybody to misinterpret this. European fighters and American fighters are just, fighters here stateside and some south of the border. They bend at the waist and they hunker down. They change levels. The way that European fighters tend to manage distances, their torso is very static sometimes, and they use their feet to get out of the way of the punch. They'll use their elbows, but their torsos can be very static. And I see that that's an area of weakness for Bivol ahead of this fight, that his torso is static. It's the same thing I said about Franchon Cruz and Aline Cedar-Ruz, that your torso is static. You don't bend at the waist. You don't you're not really bending your knees that much. You're not changing levels. So it's like, I see that's a place where he could get you.
I totally agree. I was having that conversation with my pops. Like, what Bivol does is he has better footwork than Canelo. Canelo has better upper torso movement. So it's who's going to get the better placement. And I went back and watched the Joe Smith fight. And there's moments where Bivol is on the front foot throwing more than a 1-2. I just don't know how long he's going to commit to that. Like Leo said, until the old habits show themselves.
I agree with that. Yeah, I heard about the Chappelle attack. I heard that the guy tried to stab him and they broke the guy's arm. Broke it up real nice. They beat him up real good. It's real nice. For those that haven't seen the picture, see the pictures. Very satisfying.
Rightfully so.
You tried to take away my Dave Chappelle, bro. Like, y'all need to stop. Like, don't take away my Dave Chappelle.
Now, I had a question, Jules. Do you think Bivol can make Canelo reset and get his respect like, say, Triple G did and Kovalev did for a little bit?
Not because this is what I mean, that he doesn't have the, like, even Kovalev, he was very busy with the jab. He was very, like I don't know how this was lost on so many people, but it was kind of obvious to me that Kovalev's not committing to the jab. He's peppering him with the jab because he doesn't want to leave his arm out there too long. If he throws a tense jab or a step jab, he's going to get countered and he's going to get knocked out. He knows that. So he's going to use his feet, move and punch, and pepper him with the jab, but it's a short jab. It's not a stiff jab or a step jab. It's a short jab. And I think that was very smart of Kovalev to do that because at minimum it bought him time and he won a couple of rounds doing that. Now, if Bivol does that, I think that would help him because, well, you're not as old as Kovalev was when he fought Canelo Alvarez. You have good feet. You have good speed. If you do that, you can make these some very frustrating rounds for Canelo. But is he going to do that? I don't know. I don't know.
And I don't think
Okay,
even
let,
real quick, I don't think
okay.
Bivol has the pop that Triple G had in the jab, or even washed up Kovalev, because Kovalev still
You
had
can't say
power.
that because he's a light heavyweight though. So we we know that as far as light heavyweights go, he's not a power guy. But Canelo's not a real light heavyweight, so we have to assume that there's pop in this fight. He's gonna have power.
Okay,
Oh,
one
well,
thing.
go ahead,
One
Liam.
thing. For me, what caused Kovalev the knockout he was going to lose that fight either way, but he got knocked the fuck out, like we saw. Is
Hmm.
because Kovalev doesn't know what to do in the clinch.
Oh yeah, that's him.
You can't clinch Canelo really. You cannot control Canelo that way. You can control Canelo with movement, with volume, with a jab, but clinching. I mean, if you are under the ward, maybe, but
Yeah.
Kovalev no. And
Go ahead, Leo. I'm sorry.
no, I feel like look, Canelo is an anomaly in today's boxing because no other boxer has amassed that kind of experience and being in his prime.
Hmm.
Nobody.
To
So
add on,
this guy is in his prime. He knows everything. Apparently, he knows how to work against any style. So for me, the way to be competitive, really, you have to play dirty.
Yeah.
You have to. And Bivol is that kind of fighter? I don't know. I don't
No,
think
he's
so.
not. No, he's not. He's very textbook.
but to add off what he just said, so I watched a couple of fights, watching Bivol in the past, and it looks like a lot of his opponents have been very like kind of basic 1-2 fighters. And so watching Bivol, he's kind of like walked them down. He's been very methodic. The thing that I think he hasn't experienced yet with somebody like Canelo is Canelo has the ability to deal with shifts really well. He's really good with pivots. He also is really good dealing with different types of punches, but also he's going to be able to throw shots from different angles that B-ball hasn't seen before. B-ball just seems to be slower than at least 3 or 4 of the past fighters that Canelo's had. So even though Bivol has obviously some power, he has some range, I think he's going to be too basic. It's going to appear to be somewhat of a close fight, probably in the first fourth of it, 3-4 rounds. I think after what Canelo generally does, he's going to figure out how to beat the guy, and he's just going to wear him down. I can't see a win for Bivol unless somehow there's like a flash knockdown or somehow Canelo has to fight off the back foot, which I can't see happening. But add your 2 cents.
Yeah, what's up, fellas? Julius, Julius,
Yo, yo, yo.
yo, I want to say something before I make my comment on this fight. I wasn't joking about my comment when you had the other fight on before the young lady about my question. I did 2 shows on that subject matter, man. I haven't reached out to that community before I did the shows, right? I just have a strong feeling on it, so I wasn't being disrespectful, man.
Oh, not. It just seemed like an impromptu kind of question. Like it seemed like it was
Mm.
kind of out of left field because it's like at the end of the day, we not there yet. And I don't, to be completely honest with you, given the backlash that we're seeing already based on sports that are not full contact sports, you know what I mean? It's very different, doing power cleans or deadlifts and actually punching somebody in their fucking face. You know, it's
Mhm.
yeah, it's a very different sport. And I don't think we're gonna get to a point. I don't think we're gonna get to a point to where that's what's going on. Like the commissions won't sanction that. Like at the highest, like you know, if you're
They
talking
should.
about
They
no,
should.
no, no, no. You think they should sanction that?
No, they should get their own league if that's what you're talking about. They should
No, no,
sanction.
I'm saying that maybe in the chicken gizzard circuit, you know, maybe in the chicken gizzard circuit, there's going to be a couple of odd situations. But if we're talking about prize fighting on television, no, I do not see that. I don't see it getting to because people going to be against that. Men are going to be against that. Women are going to be. It ain't no way. We're not going to get to that point.
Well, I hope not. But the reality of it now is that it's happening right now. You have men that are changing their top and bottom, and now they're women. Now they're getting in there with women and fighting them and hurting. That's the reality of it.
I'll say this, look, you know, because I don't like to broach that subject because I got
Hmm.
very strong views that could get a
Right.
video flagged. You know, I got very strong views that I
Okay. Well, I'll
mean,
tell you what. I'm gonna shut up.
no, no,
I'm gonna
no, no,
shut
no,
up.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
But I can say this that like, look, at the end of the day, it shouldn't happen. Man, you born a dude, you should not be competing with women. It's that simple. All right.
Bottom line.
You have a
Bottom line.
biological advantage, and everybody knows it. And there's not enough estrogen you can take to take away that advantage.
The
Bone
Gypsy
density.
Queen begs to differ.
But you have to also look too to add to that. These men have already gone through puberty. They've already got the bone structure. They've already got the muscle mass. So when they talk about reducing testosterone or adding estrogen, you've already gone through puberty as a man. So
Yeah.
a lot of people don't even mention that. So we're talking about a fully grown man. Even though you reduce some of that stuff, it's not going to take away those biological advantages that you've already gone through.
Yeah,
Well,
like
That's
couple
a-
that with every other case being different too. I mean, who's going to regulate that? Who's going to keep track of? That's so much data. People would no, it's just not even going to happen.
and if you think look at how much of a handful they have just trying to make anti-doping testing standardized. You think anybody's going to keep tabs on that? Fucking
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Jesus, hell no.
So but in a nutshell, I don't know
Yeah.
no promoter, no, you know, not Bob Arum, not Oscar De La Hoya, not Eddie Hearn, not Frank Warren. Nobody's going to try to put on a show like that, you know. So it's like, to me, it's kind of a non-issue because it's like they would get so much backlash for trying to do that.
Oh, good
Yes.
God.
See. That's why I really should. That's why I did it on my own panel, the Troy Graham experience, because it's too much to get into. So I'm gonna focus on what the subject matter is on here. I just wanted to let you know that I wasn't playing. I wasn't. Yeah, you understand me? I wasn't trolling.
You know,
I wasn't playing. I wasn't being disrespectful or none of that.
Yeah, like it's more like it's you know, it's
It
generosity.
just came from out of nowhere and it threw you off your axis a little
Yeah,
bit.
because I'm like, we focusing on Michaela, we talking about this, and out of the clear blue sky, hey, would you fight a chick with a dick? It was like,
no, that's not how I wrote it.
No, I know
Julius.
that's not how you wrote it, but that's how I
Yeah.
took it, bro. That's how I like, would she fight with a chick with? Come on, be like, nah, don't answer that. Like, I'm fortunate she was willing to give me her time that morning.
You know, you're the second person that said that to me. But anyway, let's stick to Canelo in this fight here. To be very honest with you, Julius, fighting talk really don't interest me. The fights do, but I can tell you this much. This guy here, David Benavidez wobbled both him and the other guy, you know, in sparring already, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a different fighter, but he wobbled both of them. Both of them are European. I know they're trainers, meaning that, you know, I did interviews with them and all that. They're on, each and every one of them train on the rhythm. You know that they have the European rhythm, 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 1, or something like that, right? Yeah. There's nothing special. As far as Canelo, he's never been a knockout artist ever. He's just a guy that has enough power to say, okay, I'm not going to go in there and trade with him.
I think, you know what I think, Troy? I think, Troy, this is what I think. And I do agree with you because a lot of people can't explain how he wasn't a power punch. You know, he went in there with Cotto, didn't knock out Cotto, didn't even inflict as much damage on Cotto as he has on other fighters, even though Cotto's a naturally smaller fighter. And the way I reconcile it, what I see that changed is he picks his punches better. He's more accurate. That's what I see the change.
Yeah, see, there you go. There you go. That's a part of it. And his knees are bad, so he's not going to move around too well. He had to learn how to move his upper body better. He had to. He had no choice. He has bad knees.
Can
Right?
I add on? Can I add on to
Yeah,
that?
yeah. You can. You can. You can. But give me a
So
second. And hold on. So he had to learn how to move. Use upper body. And I can guarantee that he watched a lot of James Toney. I guarantee you that.
He would have had
That
to. I mean, he would have had
yeah.
to for what he's doing because his
That
his primary defense is angling his torso and rolling punches. So he would have had to,
yeah. That
or somebody. I don't know, Loche or somebody. He seen something because that's what he's doing. That's his primary defense.
yeah. Oh, okay, man. Go ahead. Go ahead, man. I'm
okay,
going back on
so
mute.
if you guys remember the Bivol fight versus Richards, I don't know if you guys have seen that fight, but in that fight, Bivol has a huge reliance on a high guard, okay, to block his punches.
Mm-hmm.
So if you remember the Richards fight, Bivol's like damn near unaware of how open his midsection is, man. And a Canelo guy who's naturally shorter.
Nah, you can't. Look, let me say this. You're fighting Craig Richards. Guy's about 6'1". Your guard is that high because you know where the punches are coming from. There's not much chance of Richards getting off a body shot, him being 6'1", standing completely upright. You know, because I remember that fight. It was a real stiff, rigid,
Yeah.
ho-hum fight. But I feel like it's situational. He had the high guard that high because he's fighting a guy who's taller than him. You see what I mean? I think he's gonna. The main thing with Bivol that I see as a weakness, it's not even that not just the high guard, but your torso is static. Like you don't move it. Your way of protecting your body, you'll tuck your elbows to your sides. Yeah, you'll do that if he goes for the body, but you really don't move your torso, and you don't fight at a slight crouch. Canelo does, and a lot of fighters that I have talked to, they all say the same thing. Fighting a shorter fighter is more difficult because the target is smaller.
Easy.
Yes.
This applies to other sports like wrestling and everything. Yeah, agreed.
Let me
Right.
ask the panel this question. Sorry. Let me
Okay,
ask the
go
panel
ahead.
this question. So everybody's picking, obviously, Canelo to win, like most are. I would say it's probably 80-20 from our look at. What can Bivol do to be the guy
Shorten the jab.
to beat Canelo?
Shorten the
There
jab.
he goes
and pivot.
right there.
Shorten
That's
the
your
jab
answer
and
right
pivot.
there.
Shorten the jab and pivot. If you really want to beat the key to beating Canelo, if you don't intend on knocking him out because you think that's too difficult, what you do
Who
is
lives in the haunted house?
I don't know. Oh, that's me. That's my door. I was coming off my porch. My balcony. What you got to do is you have to do a better version of what Sergey Kovalev. Shout out to Jim82. I appreciate that. You have to do a better version of what Sergey Kovalev did. And what Sergey did that was very smart. He shortened up the jab. He looked busier in the round, and he was pivoting. He was boxing around him. Don't let it get to the point where you're constantly on the back foot. Your back is constantly on the ropes. Yes, you're protecting yourself, and he's not landing clean, but it still looks a certain way when he puts you there. The same way it was in the Smith fight. That Canelo was actually having a little bit of a hard time landing clean on Callum because Callum was in survival mode. He's just tucking his elbows, protecting his body, trying not to get hit. He's not even really fighting. And
He was in
though
survival mode like in the second round. I agree with you. Yes, from second round on.
So what Bivol has to do to really make it difficult, shorten up the jab and pivot.
Let me ask you that question to follow up. Does he have the capacity? Are those in his toolbox?
Yep.
Does he have those? Does he have those toolbox to be able
I
to
saw
do?
him. I saw him do it to Smith. I saw it do him to Smith. There's a clip. I forgot who put the clip together. But there's a clip of Bivol shooting 5 jabs in the Joe Smith Jr. fight as Joe's trying to defend against those jabs. And as he's shooting those jabs, and Joe is in that guard, he's moving around Joe. He's not just standing in one spot. He's not just coming forward or backwards. He's boxing around him so that he can do it. Yes, I've seen him do it. Can you do it with Canelo?
That's what I was just going to say. Look, and as much as I love Joe Smith, he's my favorite, one of my favorite blue collar, Lunchfeld type guys to root for. But there's a huge difference between the defense that Canelo has to a Joe Smith. Can we agree with that?
There's a huge gap in skill.
No, absolutely.
There's a huge gap in skill.
Yeah.
What I was going to say to that is, I remember that sequence you're talking about, Jules, because I just watched the fight. He did it a couple of times. Last one I remember was in round 9. But I want to ask the panel and Jules, like, there's going to come a point in the time where Bivol has to commit and realize, like, he might catch a couple hot ones. But that's what he needs to do to assert the dominance in the middle of the ring and get feet positioned the way Usyk did with AJ. Do you see him being capable of doing that, Jules?
I see that whatever he's going to do that's going to wow us, if it's going to happen, it'll happen early. He's going to wow us with something that he does. But
Well, I see the early rounds.
The thing is, because Canelo is naturally smaller, the safe assumption, I should say, is that Canelo will be faster. Is Bivol accustomed to dealing with a fighter who is faster than him? I don't think so. Nobody he's
Who
fought.
has a better gas tank out of the two? Who has a better gas tank?
We can't. We can say this. I've seldom ever seen Bivol tired. He knows how to pace himself. He's a 12-round fighter.
Have you ever seen him pushed? Have you ever seen him pushed?
Yes, I saw him pushed in the Pascal fight. He had to work a little bit more in the Pascal because you know how Pascal fights. He gonna rush you. You know, so you got to move.
Yeah, he fights crazy.
You got to move.
Pascal got that PED stamina.
Well, I love it. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. I love the Pez. I love the Maldoni.
I got a follow up to that question, Jules. You're Bivol's trainer. What do you want to see the first 3 rounds?
I want to see you snap his head back with a jab. Get his attention.
He has such a good jab.
Shoot
You know, and
your
his
jab
legs
too.
are
You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that fencing jab bullshit, don't you, Jules? You don't want to see that fencing shit.
You gotta. What I would if I'm in his corner, I tell him this. This is what I want you to do in the first round. Come out hard in the first round. Ease off in the second. You're not gonna expect that. You know, they think you're a limited guy. Come out with bad intentions in the first round. I want you to snap his head back a couple of times, make the judges go wow. Then in the second round, I want you to protect yourself, shorten up your jab, move and punch. That's what I would tell him. If it's me, that's what I would tell him to do.
Would you tell him to switch anything up throughout the rest of the fight, or just to stick to that plan?
No, well, here's what I was going to say to that. He could come out in the first round and give a you don't need to punch yourself out, but be assertive and take round 2, not necessarily off, but we know Canelo starts slower. So you don't have to worry about Canelo pressing the gas right away either.
It's just basically the mission statement and what I would tell him or the focus, like what am I trying to get out of this would be, I would be trying to get Canelo's attention and get the people's attention, show them something they haven't seen because they're expecting me to box. They're not expecting me to come out here aggressive. I'm going to come out that way early. Then I'm going to protect myself. Then I'm going to be conservative. That's what I would tell him.
Jules, I need a pass on this one. I know y'all doing the whole boxing talk, but I just found a African, Latino food truck right there in Newark, New Jersey. Yeah, yes, I'm gonna go check it out and tell you about it.
All right. But yeah, Bivol's strengths in this fight is that he has the durability that Caleb didn't have, the durability that Billy didn't have, but he can box just as good, if not better, as those guys. But he's more durable than they are. So that's the advantage that you have, that if he does get through with something, you can take it. But you have to try. You have to try. You got to show levels. You got to change gears. You have to try. And I'm not going to count him out. I'm not going to say, well, no, he's not going to do anything. We got to see. But based on what we've seen, even in fights where you're winning, clearly, you don't hit the gas. You don't try to take the guy out.
And that's my point. That's the issue I had with Shakur. Like, you had him there, but like, this is Canelo. If you could be comfortably winning on the fight, bro, but you're not trying to close the show, I know what the judges are going to do because they did it to Triple G.
Yeah, and I don't knock them when they do that because I this is why a lot of people don't like my stance on that. But like, yeah, dog, because this ain't fantasy land you living in. This is not an ideal world. You know damn good and fucking well who you fighting, and so do all of us. Motherfuckers could argue about it on Sunday all they motherfucking want. You let this go, that's your ass. That's you.
I mean, the fight is taking place at the same location as the Triple G fights.
And the other shit is, I ain't even gonna act like he gotta rob you. I'm not gonna jump to that conclusion. I entertain that possibility, but I'm not gonna jump to that conclusion because that Lara shit, that is a fucking myth, bro. A lot of these people didn't. Yo, I'm telling you right now, that's a fucking myth. Like, yo, dog, he was tripping over his own feet trying to get away from Canelo. Who was throwing the power shots? Because it wasn't fucking Lara.
Jules,
How you?
I was
Now let me.
dying at that because fools was saying, "Well, yeah, jabs count for more points than power shots."
Who said that? You're
They
Let
were
me
lying.
say
saying
this.
that on Twitter during
What?
that fight, bro.
like,
That
like,
was your
like,
first mistake.
It's the dumbest shit.
They want
like
Canelo to lose.
if
That's why he
you
said
if
that.
you watch that fight, you got a guy with his back on. It's like I don't know, well, I know where it came from, and I know why people feel that way, but that just tells me how fucking little you know about what you're watching. Your back is on the ropes. It didn't get there by itself. All you're doing with your back on the ropes is going from one end of the ring to the other end. Like, bro, you getting guarded around the ring. Even if he's not landing clean, neither are you. You're not asserting yourself if your back is on the ropes, right? Are you holding the center of the ring? No, your back is on the ropes. His back is to the center, and he's putting you there. That's what I see. And if you
Right.
don't fucking understand that, yo, you're not supposed to get back unless you walking them into something. Like credit the Wilder. Credit the Wilder. Let me say this.
I'm
Wilder was
sorry.
being
What did you just say? Can
credit
you?
the Wilder. Let me say
Okay,
this.
we.
Are you okay?
Let
Hey,
me
Jules,
let
are
me
you
I
say
got
okay?
let
something
me
to
say
say
You
this.
all
after
right?
this
Let
too,
me say
man.
no, but hold on. Let me say this because you got to give him credit in the Spilka fight because Spilka had better feet than Wilder, and he was literally causing Wilder to trip up. He actually was backing Wilder into the ropes, or Wilder was backing up, setting up the counter. But it was a beautiful counter. He walked him like, "Oh, you gonna shoot the left hook? I got you." And when you shot it, Ming took him out. Unless you walking the guy into shots, you don't want your back to be to the ropes. That's not a good place to be. How does that show that you win in a fight? How?
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Leo.
You can.
For me, the Alcantara versus Canelo fight was closer and more difficult to score than the Lara fight.
I agree with that.
Hmm.
I agree with that.
And now I would like to jump in and say something. I might be I might be incorrect, but I believe I'm correct. Julius, two time, what Alvarez is two-time, unified champion, right?
Uh, I would say he's three-time unified, one-time undisputed.
And if he does that at 175, we could stop all the has he passed Floyd talk, because obviously he has. He
I
passed
mean,
him now.
but you know what makes it a hard, because I don't like to do that. I don't really
I
like
do.
to. But I'll say that, look, the thing is that I acknowledge that Floyd beat him, and I don't make excuses because Canelo was a champion when he fought him. Though, in the same token, I always say Canelo got better. Do you honestly think that in the 7 or 8 years that have passed, he didn't get better? Of course he got better.
Well,
Of
clearly
course
he
he
got
did.
better.
Of
His
course he
record
got
speaks
better. Of
for
course
it.
he got better. But my thing, just for Floyd Mayweather, because he's a very small, scared man who has to be in the spotlight all the time. He Listen, stop whining and complaining when you talk about Alvarez. He has surpassed you. You should be happy. You should
That
be
Well,
guy
taking a
lives
route
rent
about.
free in his
let me
head.
say this.
You
Look,
should be talking about that's your student.
let
You
me
should be
say
talking about
this.
that's your student. Yeah.
There are areas where I see that Canelo legitimately, it's not contentious. There are areas where Canelo legitimately passed him. For example, he's loved. You're not.
Wow.
You never will be. You never will be. Like when like George. I always come back to George because when I was young and he came back, I knew him as a bad guy. So when he did that 180, like that's how long I've been watching boxing. Like, no, I wasn't alive for Ali versus Foreman, but I knew about George. I knew yeah, he was the bad guy. That's what I knew about him as a child. Like, he was the bad guy. So when he came back and he was this cool cat and he talking and people like him, that shit matters, yo. When you get old, yeah, that shit matters that people like you, that they rock with you, they
And
see you,
and
they
tell me
fuck
you
with
didn't have a
you.
George Foreman grill, Jules.
Of course
Of
I
course we
did.
did.
Of course. Now, when I think about a lot of these guys, like, look, Aaron Pryor beat the shit out of Arguello 2 times. That's facts. But
He broke him
Arguello,
the second time. He
he
broke
he
him.
he destroyed him. but Arguello is still loved. Still loved. Like, yo, Arguello was a gentleman. You know what I mean? He's like he's a gentleman. And true, that wasn't his best weight. That needs to be said too. That needs to be said too.
I
put
want to
it
say
like
something
this,
up.
real quick. I put it like this.
Okay.
Sugar Ray Robinson lost what? 14, 15 times over almost 200 fights. Are those dudes that beat him better than him?
No. But let's be fair, because my thing is not denigrating the victory. Like, I don't need to do that. You lost the fight. Listen, Henry, and I always come back to this. Henry fucking Armstrong lost about three or four of his first 10 fights. He still went on to be one of the baddest motherfuckers that ever did it. So losing a fight in the greater scheme of that ain't shit. Is that all you got? That he lost a fight to the number one pound for pound fighter at 23 years old. You sound stupid saying that shit.
Like,
look,
because when you go to Floyd being 23, the number one pound for pound dude was Tito or Roy.
I want to share something about George Foreman. If anyone doesn't know about this, when the Ali versus Foreman was being orchestrated and Ali and Foreman arrived to Africa, George Foreman arrived in his plane with a fucking German Shepherd. What was the dogs the cops used at that time to crowd control in the apartheid? A German Shepherd. Apparently, George Foreman didn't know about this. He was ignorant. But when people told him, so what? It's my dog. Fuck them. And everyone hated them from them.
Yeah, I can't knock him. Like, what you want me to do? Kill my dog? I'm not killing my fucking dog because of your fucking shit. I'm not. So I mean, like, y'all just gonna have to eat this one. I'm George fucking Foreman. I'll knock the shit out one of y'all.
But you know what, Jules is smart because he supported George in his 180 and got the Foreman grill, and now he bought the gel blaster, so he's rooting for Floyd.
Nine, but look, this the main shit. This the main. Look, this is the disconnect, right? A lot of guys look at, and I said this already. A lot of broke people and a lot of broke guys, they don't even really care about Floyd the boxer because they don't understand boxing. They just know he had a lot of money, so they look up to him because that's when you see these wild-eyed idiot motherfuckers that don't understand boxing in the pocket as opposed to boxing on the outside. This is who I'm talking about. They're like, what you talking about, slick? Lara not slick. Floyd was slick. Lara not slick. Nah, Rigo not slick either. Rigo ain't been slick in years. So what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? I could appreciate Floyd's boxing because I could legitimately say it's some of the best boxing I've ever seen. It is. But this thing where we're gonna like make him ascend to deity because he had money. How fucking broke are you?
You make a really good point though. Like, just listening to everybody's stories. The one thing that made a lot of sense is you're talking about the level of respect that fans will have when a fighter will have losses. They'll have 3-4 losses, and they'll come back. If they come back, retired, if they come back and they fight again, there's a level that the fans have of respect because of the warrior status they have. And what you see nowadays in boxing, when you watch, there are so many quote unquote champions who are so afraid to lose the zero. What they don't seem to understand is if you fall and you get back up again, there are so many fans who are still going to embrace you, and you're going to gain fans even by losing. And it's such a interesting dynamic to see from what it was and what it is.
I'll add to that. Look at Nate Diaz, for example. Double-digit losses. But he gets love from the fans everywhere he goes still, and they're still paying 500, 600,000 pay-per-view buys every time he fights.
Look, this is the main thing, right? This is the main thing because it also accents the fighter themselves. Wilder lost 2 fights to the same guy, right? But look at what it did to him. Now you could turn around and look at Derek Chisora. That dude got losses in the double digits. He been knocked out more than once, but he's still with the shit. Like, nah, we let's shoot these shits. You know what I mean? The mentality of the fighter is also why motherfuckers is like that. Like, bro, listen, you should have wanted to know with Demetrius Andre. Like, yeah, I'm gonna shut this motherfucker up, man. Like, I gotta do this. Kell Brook has been holding on to this hate for Khan for how many years, and he finally fucking got him. It's beautiful. But
Nearly a decade.
it's beautiful that he finally got that. You wondered that it even started to look like, yo, you know what? Amir Khan might have timed this perfectly because Brooke damn sure ain't what he used to be. And he held on to that hate for years. Like, no.
Spite's a hell of a thing,
Yeah.
man.
Julius, I want to touch that subject you were talking before about Errol Spence fighting Canelo.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying it doesn't make sense from a financial point of view, but it makes total sense for the PBC.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Why? Because if you make the Canelo fight before the Crawford fight, you can always say after Crawford beats Errol Spence, because he's gonna lose either way, you can always say, of course he lost. He fought Canelo.
I'm
so much good.
I only say this because of the severity of the beating that he would receive. That like he would receive such a beating that this dude is not gonna come back till next year. And he ain't gonna come back against no motherfucking Crawford. Like, now you gonna come back, they gonna call you Robert Guerrero or somebody. Like, now you gotta fight Lopez first.
And the funny thing Leo says, Jules, is he's right. They do that. Crawford beats Spence. They'll be like, well, of course he did. Canelo just beat him. And in the same breath, think that they beat a prime Kell Brook when Spence fought him.
Exactly.
I mean, look at a guy. You're talking about a guy who's going to go up, 20 pounds to fight the greatest fighter in boxing right now with the bum eye. I don't care about the fight with Ugas. With the bum eye in a car accident. This is a kamikaze mission, my man. I mean, you're talking about a guy who might leave in a stretcher. So of course, if he fights Crawford,
no, there's nothing wrong with the eye. Nothing wrong.
He hasn't had a knockout. Hold on now, he hasn't had a knockout at 147 in how long?
No, I mean, look,
when's the last time?
Wait. He knocked out Ugas, in his last fight. So you good then? I just want to know, Errol, you good?
Okay, the
right?
ref knocked out Ugas.
Hold on.
Hey. Now no. Listen, Troy, he's good. So when Crawford beats you, no excuses. I was fine. You knocked out you Errol the two Spence. Damn it!
Is it after he beat Spence? Is it now? Was it an old like has-been Spence? I mean, what are they going to do to degrade that win whenever Crawford?
Even though Crawford is older.
Well, it'll be he had an accident, he had a bad eye,
I'm gonna tell you what the excuse is gonna be, right? Let's just say hypothetically in this ideal world that we're describing, this is the next fight, right? Let's just say that this is the next fight. Okay, the excuse is gonna be, I'm just happy to see the fight. After bashing Crawford and shitting on him and diminishing his legacy and shitting on everything he ever did. These are the same guys that are going to turn around. Well, I'm just happy to see the fight. This is a good fight. They trust me, because that's what happened after Wilder versus Fury 3. I saw it. I fucking saw it. Well, it was a great fight. Great fight.
I know. Jules,
you know what your problem is?
Money off that shit.
Julius.
I just want to say real quick though, like, I made it a point to stop arguing with people that can't afford the seats I buy at fights.
No, but notice, Julius, that the same folks who were saying he's a drug cheat and he's a liar and he got a rap sheet a mile or 20 miles long. They turn around and say, oh yeah, what he said was right, and whoever he fights, like when he knocked out my boy Dillian, right?
Yeah.
Now they're saying, yeah. We told you he was good. We told you. Wait a second. You told us he was a drug cheat.
This is what I'm gonna say, Troy.
Not mutually exclusive.
I didn't wait till Wilder got his ass beat to say that Fury is a liar. I've been said Fury is a liar. I didn't wait till Wilder got his ass beat to say, Fury got caught on Androlone. Did you know that? Do you know the only real reason he retired was because UCAD was all in his ass? Did you know that? I didn't wait. I didn't wait for that.
All up in his ass. Just all up in his ass.
All up in his motherfucking ass. All in his sphincter. Whereas these guys, and I remember it vividly, clear as day, they were moving Wilder away from the Joshua fight. Like that fight don't matter. Joshua ain't this and Joshua ain't that. Y'all was literally endorsing Fury. Oh, he lineal. He beat Vlad
He put
before.
out a letter,
And
Julius.
never gave him
Remember?
back his rematch.
He put out a letter. Wilder put out a letter himself saying that he walked away from $100 million to bless Fury with a fight because he was a safer fight at the time, and if he wins, then that would have moved his needle up, and he could have asked for more money or some foolishness like that.
Doesn't that
What?
statement, doesn't that tweet alone right there expose
I think you meant
his
Joshua.
whole entire agenda? That tweet alone right there exposed all the back and forth between Joshua and Wilder. The whole
it
thing
ruins
exposes it.
it ruins and it's sad because look, Fury's a good fucking boxer. I always give him his flowers when it comes to his boxing. Like, yeah, he's good on the front foot, good on the back foot, switches stances. He's a good boxer. I've seldom ever seen him get tired. I've seldom seen him, like that he's out of gas. I've seldom seen like he's a good boxer. He's a great boxer. But there's so much other shit. I mean, if I think about it, I've seen guys push the pace on him, and I've seen him control the situation as best as he could. Like heavyweight boxing is not like other boxing. Like it really ain't. Like heavyweight is to me just a different beast because dog, these guys they one punch away from knocking you the fuck out. It's always like that. It's always one punch away from knocking the motherfucker out. Could be in a fight that he winning like that, or like White versus Chisora too, or Takam versus Chisora. Takam was winning that fucking fight. One big shot from Derek, fight's over. Fucking same shit happened. Same fucking shit happened.
That was a great fight, man. Oh,
Same shit happened to Dillian White and Derek Chisora in a rematch. Derek was getting all of his shit. He was looking real uncomfortable. One big left hook. Fight is over.
I had a question, Jules. After everything that happened this last weekend, and I tweeted you that data with the impressions of what happened before Katie Taylor Serrano and after, and the organic buzz. Has the detractors been in your DMs after that, or your mentions?
I mean, because look, this the shit, right? Just outside of this digital environment and outside of the etiquette of boxing talk, what kind of dude? I don't know. I wouldn't even mingle with it. Like, why would you take pleasure in putting them down? Like, I don't understand. Like, what you get out of that? Like, what are we trying to do here? Where you can't just get a girl's day flowers? They had a good ass fight. You not no motherfucking fighter. You write about fighters. You not no fighter. Why would you want to take that away from them? I don't understand that.
Well, when you live in your mother's basement.
Wait.
Or as what Jules say, when you get no pussy.
Go ahead, Leo. Go ahead, Leo.
Do you ever heard the story about Catherine Switzer, the first girl that ran a marathon? He ran a marathon in a only men marathon, and when she was running, one of the organizers that was a man, one of the organizers of the marathon, ran through her and tried to pull her out of the marathon. She was mad. He was mad as fuck. Like, how dare she to be in a marathon? How dare she to run with men? Women weren't able to practice those kinds of sports. And one of the guys that were running the marathon with Catherine pushed the organizer of the race. Those kind of guys remind me that girl.
Yeah,
you cannot stand a girl doing something that typically men do.
But this the thing. This the other thing that is not being said. I don't know what frilly shirt, culotte environment you come from where girls don't fight. I went to public school. I went to zone schools at that. I went to public zone schools.
They fought like hell.
It fought like hell. Like that's normal to me.
Everything went.
My sisters, I got older sisters. That all they did was fight when we was kids. Guys, they're getting it on. Like that's normal.
Most of them had padlocks, and they would put them on there. You seen this, Julius? They had
put the padlock on the shit and slap the shit up. Like that's normal. Like so. That's normal. So
that's New York.
That's some
That's
New
just a
York
wonderful
shit.
New York
Yeah,
upbringing right there.
y'all grew up in the concrete jungle. That's a different world. Not
But
everybody's
let me
seeing
say this,
that.
gentlemen, real quick. It's been a pleasure as usual. I just want to tell you I wasn't playing, Julius, and I'm gonna do another show about the whole transgender thing. But I'm fighting to get the transgender, community to come on my show, and it's a Troy Graham experience. I'm just
Look,
come and
just be
check it out
careful.
for
All I'm
yourself.
gonna say is, Troy, be careful with
Yeah,
the shit because
I
if
don't
the
want to be careful, man. I don't
no,
want to be
no,
careful.
wait. This is why I'm telling you this shit because if the line of questioning, right, if they deem that shit uncomfortable, they're gonna try to come after you. Like you got to be transparent with the shit that you want to
That
ask. Like you
that's my
got.
point. That's my point. It's going to be transparent because if you look at it, Julius, I am Noah, and I'm telling you to get on this ark before the storm comes. You all think I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm telling you there's a storm coming, and I'm building my ark right now.
I'm
Okay?
telling you right now that they ain't look. Even fucking Bruce Jenner, they asked him about the shit. You know that, right? They asked him,
Oh,
and
and
he
they
said,
got on him.
no. But they was mad as fuck at what because he's like, no, they shouldn't be competing with girls. That's not fair.
Bruce Jenner
I
reminds me
remember that.
of
They was
And,
vegan chicken. He
and
just
Bruce,
reminds me of vegan chicken because at the end of the day, you were born like this, and then all of a sudden now you want to be this. He's vegan chicken.
but
He's
at least he
satan.
speak. But
let me
he's
say
speaking
this.
the truth, though.
Let me
But he
say this.
says the truth.
Who's true?
Let me say this. Everybody chill, right? Because the best way that I have ever heard it iterated, right? They had, one of those individuals on the show, and what there was a dude there, they had their opposing views, and what the dude said, I couldn't have put it better myself. If I put on a doctor's outfit, am I a doctor? If I jump into a cop outfit, am I a cop? Nah, right? So
That's a good one.
you know what I mean? And it was this is why I don't want to spend a lot of because y'all know this ain't that kind of channel. But that's what I saw in the, that is the
Well,
way I saw it put in that show. And it was like that's the perfect iteration. That there's more to things than the aesthetic. There is the peripheral and what's on the
that's
out.
why you have channels like mine before I jump off here. That's why you have the Troy Graham experience. I'm not just bold without a purpose. I'm bold with a purpose. I don't want to. This ain't about hyperbole or numbers and all that. This actually bothers the hell out of me. It does.
No, I mean it bothers the
It
hell out of me
bothers
too,
the
but
hell out of me, and
you
that's why I
know,
want to talk. I want to talk to these people that's in this community and tell them, why don't you just start your own league? I can even help you.
because they don't want to. You know that.
Yeah, they don't want to, but you want to come over here. You want to beat the hell out of women and say, well, it's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a bio major, man. Toss me the link, man. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, get me on too. I want to hear this.
Are you a biologist? You know, I mean, that fucking.
It's just
Well,
so
I am.
unfortunately that the panel
My bachelor's is in bio.
I hope
no,
that,
but it's unfortunately that the panels didn't go the way they were supposed to go. I don't know if you know about Julius. I don't know if you know anybody that's in that community or anybody with
I
the sound of
don't.
my voice. Hey, listen, man. I'm bold enough to reach out to them. You know how many these groups I joined? Gay and LBQ, whatever. I must have joined like 20 of them. That's how serious I am.
Listen, man. Like I said, that is a subject that I stay away
I'm not
from.
afraid of it. I'm gonna tackle it head on.
They
I ain't
tried.
afraid of it.
They tried to take away Dave Chappelle from us. They're gonna try to take Troy away from. No, I'm leaving that shit to Troy. That ain't.
You
Troy's
call
a
me Noah,
martyr.
baby. You have to get on the ark eventually too, Julius. You called me Noah.
I'm gonna leave that shit to Troy. What I'm gonna sit now. What the fuck was I thinking about just now? What the fuck was I thinking about? Right.
Fried
What the
chicken and
dude said.
biscuits. Who knows?
What the dude said in a nutshell. It kind of put it in a way. It put it in a way where you're not being offensive. You're just saying what things are because that is the way things are.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
If I decide to put on a surgical outfit, if I'm wearing scrubs, that doesn't make me a brain surgeon.
I trust you with my life.
You should.
You out your mind. You out
That's
your
okay. I'm
mind.
suicidal on the
But
weekends.
like it's a whole ordeal, and Canelo's gonna beat Bivol, and I'm gonna go to sleep.
And you need to come on the show, man. You know who co-hosts with us sometime? Not on that subject. He just pops up, and I sent him the link, and he pops up from time to time. There's two of them, Kevin Kelly and Coach you know, and Coach
Oh,
Rozier.
Kevin Kelly. All right. All
And
right.
Coach
All right.
Rozier,
All right.
you know,
You
Andre
talking about
Rozier.
Andre Rose? All right. All
Yeah,
right. All right.
Andre,
All right.
Andre and Rozier and I have a link together. He grew up with I think his grandmother was a seamstress, and so was mine. So when Kevin turned me on to him, we had that link, and we understood a lot of different things. So he's
I
more
mean,
than happy
look,
to
this
come
is
over
the
there.
thing. I would love that. I'm going to do this on your channel so that you get in all the trouble, the good trouble.
Good, do it. No, but I'm about listen.
I got a good thing going, dog. Don't fuck up my shit.
I'm not. That's not my point. I'm not playing with you. I'm not trying to mess anybody up. Which is why I took it up on my back to do it.
All right,
So yeah,
we'll have that conversation. For now, ladies and
it's
gentlemen,
easy.
it is
Yeah, it's the Troy Graham
12:33.
experience. So, but
It is
thank y'all. Bye.
12:33. It is past my old man bedtime.
You
My
had a
eyes
nap tonight, Jules. What you talking about? You took a nap.
I need another one because I need another
No,
one.
we
'Cause
know
I'm
you need to go
old.
grab some ass.
That too, because I'm probably gonna do that while she sleep. Gentlemen, always a pleasure. What the
God
fuck?
bless.
Right. Nos vemos.